in Texas and founded by sixth-generation Texan Bert Tito Beveridge. Tito's is American-made at its best, since selling the first case in 1997. Tito's has come in a standard bottle with a modest paper label, so all you pay for is the high-quality vodka inside. Simple, smooth, and mixes with anything. Tito's is America's favorite vodka for a reason. 6 times distilled till it's just right, and naturally gluten-free. Tito's is a high-quality spirit made for the smoothest martinis and the best Bloody Marys. Beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. It is the vodka for dog people, after all. Make your next cocktail with Tito's, and learn more at titosvodka.com. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, distilled from corn. Copyright 2025. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
The Dumb Zone. Dak Prescott has more wins than any quarterback in the NFL.
Say that again.
Last year.
More than any quarterback in the NFL?
More than any quarterback.
Yeah, and the past quarterbacks, too, for the Dallas. I'm just joking.
Come on now.
Hey, let me tell you, I'm going to get to that. If you ball, you get the call. And this guy, Dak Prescott, he got the call. Dak, what's up, Balls? How you doing, man?
What's up, Prime Time? I'm good. How are you?
Baby, I love the bow tie. I love the suit. I love the look, man. You're looking quite dapper.
Appreciate that. Well, got to.
Is that a I'm going to win look? You know, because, you know, you got to win when you get that clean, right?
No, yeah, I mean, you know the deal. You look good, you feel good, you play good. So when I'm in my closet in the morning, I'm thinking about that win.
Well, there you go. Here's your guy.
Got to.
You're locked in.
Ha, ha, ha. That's why you need Deion to rub off on him.
I'm wearing a bow tie.
Ha, ha, ha.
Look, I got a bit.
Dork. Maybe he can be saved, though.
I'm Dan McDowell.
I'm Jake Kemp.
I'm Blake Jones.
Like, what if they hire Deion and he just turns into the blackest quarterback in the league?
Along with Rob Chickering, who we're trying to test because we're doing a video show today. I'm Dan McDowell.
I'm Jake Kemp.
I'm Blake Jones.
Damn, come on. You
Along
know
with Rob Chickering. And in studio today, Dan.
Jake.
In studio today, downtown Dallas, our DZTV studios, the home of More 27, Fox 4. The great Lawrence Rosales is here as well.
Yeah.
Hello. How you guys doing?
I don't know.
Glad to see everybody.
Lawrence looks
How are
good.
you?
Do what?
Said you look good.
You look good too. I was just thinking when I walked in, I'd heard, I'm not an avid listener, but I heard you skimmed off rock bottom a little bit. Yeah,
we were close. Yeah, it nicked me.
Yeah, but you're looking slimmed down, and rock bottom doesn't get enough credit for how it can really turn you around.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, I go to AA meetings, and it seems like everybody's.
Wait, we haven't seen Lawrence since?
No.
You've been back?
Did you go to treatment?
I found my own God,
Yeah, yeah.
But I just feel like, after rock bottom, people look better. They if you're drinking and doing drugs and you're thinking, I need to stop, don't.
Keep going.
You're almost there. You're almost there. Yeah. That's how you got to do it.
Yeah. You need a serious rebound to feel good about yourself.
How are the meetings?
You don't go at all?
No.
I don't go much, but I go to one a week that I like, and
I think I would crush.
You probably no. The room is yours. The room is yours. So the thing that I don't like about some meetings is they're super depressing.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just the worst story you have in your life, and I'm like, well, you know what? I feel like I need a drink.
Yeah.
This is really kind of a bummer. But I found one where it's a lot of optimism. Now, what's really interesting about it, and I haven't really beaten these guys down with this much, because I don't know. We talked about it a lot, and it was kind of somewhat move on time until I got another drug addict in here.
Yeah, I know how that feels to want to move on and everybody wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Dan.
I was going to say,
so
what are you doing out there for the...
I just want to hear more about rock bottom. He won't give us the deets.
Yeah, I've given you so many of the deets.
What's really interesting about it is the dynamic of the group. You show up, your new guy, and now it's like you got to figure out who the elders are. And like the guys who have clearly been going there for 20 years but don't talk. Like, don't take that as like they want you to talk. They're comfortable with. So I show up and I'm like, hey, I'd like to introduce myself, and immediately regret that. They're like, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, put in some time. There's a hierarchy. It's like high school.
Yeah.
There are little cliques.
Was everybody mad at you?
When I almost threw my life away and ended up in rehab or AA?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much everybody, yeah.
Doesn't that suck? That's one of the worst parts
It's
about
not fun.
It's like you're trying to get your life together and like you're doing the right thing, and everybody's like, I was thinking about like the guy that landed the plane on the Hudson.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
did,
And then they were
quote
like,
unquote, landed. So
yeah, and they were like, but he's an alcoholic now. He's in court. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, he landed it.
I think you might be
He landed
confusing
it.
this with a Denzel Washington movie.
Oh, okay. Well, you know,
Oh yeah, he was a drunk and sleeping with the flight attendant.
Yeah,
It was a good movie.
We have more.
but
on
didn't he crash
that in the
land it, and then
news.
they were still mad at him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he put himself in that situation.
Oh, okay. Well, so did Jake and I.
That's true.
You know, and was it just alcohol?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're not lying to me.
I swear to God, I still will consume the THC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I'm
See-
not like you. See, you always are like, I'm okay with one thing below. Whereas you, it's like, I have meth. It's kind of a problem for me. Alcohol's fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
For you.
I'm okay on alcohol.
That's I know.
Yeah, I could probably trim it down a little bit. You know what I mean?
But you're not throwing your life away over it, which is the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And buzzballs? You told me you had one last buzzball?
I did. That was the last thing I had before I checked in. My wife was with me. Like, I didn't go in the van. Like,
Oh,
What's a
that's nice.
buzzball?
it's like a little
Pre-mixed,
It's just absolute garbage, almost like malt liquor,
and it comes in a little ball.
and it's like in a little.
They keep it behind the counter at 7-Eleven. That's how you know it's not good for you.
Yeah, it's not good for you, but that's also how you know that a lot of people are like, yeah, maybe one of those. When you're not really intending to, they're like $2. It's basically the equivalent of like a beer and a half, maybe.
Yeah, even the dick pills are on this side of the counter.
Yeah. Anything
It must be
behind
really
the counter at 7-Eleven, they're like, we can't let you touch this.
Yeah.
The last day he drank was September 11th.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
checked in.
sweet.
He'll
That's
never,
sweet.
never forget.
As I say,
Never
my own
forget.
personal 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, now 9/11 means something to you.
I know.
Yeah, the other day my ex texted me and she goes, "You've been clean for 4 years now." And I said, "Oh, thank you. I didn't memorialize the date."
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, you don't do that?
No, I just tried to I'm like, I don't, meth is like a different thing. You know what I mean? It's like, let's just try to close this door a little bit.
People aren't proud of you for getting over meth.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're not a hero in any way, you know? Like, I'll never even tell my son, like, hey, just so you know, I quit doing meth. Like, I think about it, though. Sometimes he's mean or something, and I'm like, dude, I'll relapse so fast. Like, if you don't treat me right, like, you have no idea what button you're pushing here.
What I'm capable of.
Yeah. But she goes, yeah, you're 4 years clean now. And I go, oh, thank you. And then the next day she goes like, hey, I need you to go take a drug test so you can keep seeing your son. And I was like, oh, well, that's fucking rude. That was mean.
Yeah.
That was mean. You know?
That's a thing.
They'll use those kids as a weapon like that, won't they?
Yeah.
Dude, I knew a guy my first time in outpatient. He was a surgeon and he'd been clean for 5 years. He had a coke and alcohol problem. He hadn't touched anything in 5 years, and he still had to get follicle tested every month to be able to see his kids.
It's like I was on probation whenever I was like in my 20s, and now I'm 39 and I'm still getting drug tested. I'm like, I feel like a college athlete that like never retired. You know, like I went pro and like I'm still getting piss tested. Like if I get a little too happy or I'm having too good of a time, somebody's like, yeah, we're gonna need you to pee in this cup.
Yeah, but it is nice when you do it knowing it's straight.
Oh yeah.
Like it feels good.
For sure. It feels like getting an A in a class. You're like,
Right.
look
Yeah.
at that.
High
Put that on
five
the
the
fridge.
collector,
Put
little
that on
fist
the
bump,
fridge.
do a little Kyrie like handshake thing with her.
Can you pass a follicle test now?
Well, alcohol, I don't think that's follicle.
Oh, okay.
I think that's drugs. I think
Yeah.
alcohol's in your blood. So, yeah, I mean that's like 5 to 7 days. But no,
Alcohol?
Yeah, I would not pass a follicle test because I'm actively consuming marijuana.
When
Do
I
you
was,
get Do you get tested for
Uh,
the alcohol now?
I just told my wife I would do it.
Okay, so you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I'll ask her like, hey, you want me to do this? Like, I'm going out of town. I'll do this. I'm going on a weekend ski trip in February, and I was like, I'll do it before and after I go. It's not much. It's like $30.
$30.
Small price to pay if you just do alcohol.
Oh, okay. I was
The
like,
10
mine's
panel
50.
is like 50.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine's 50.
Well, how
or
much?
60.
How much do you have to pay that kid for the pee?
I know, right?
He gets his kid to pee in a cup for him.
Someone actually emailed us and said they had done that before.
Really?
And when they were like they were a 18-year-old with like a 7-year-old brother.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And they were like, "Look, buddy, I know you're in 2nd grade, but you're about to learn what brotherhood's about."
Yeah, that's nice though. That's a weird way to get a job at UPS. The piss testing thing is like I was on probation when I was a kid, and I used to have to take piss tests all the time, and it was weird because I'd been arrested for drugs, but I was old enough to drink alcohol, and I still have a mental block. Like if I'm trying to piss in a bathroom, if somebody like comes in at the wrong time, like I'll kind of freeze up. And what happened is I had like if you fail a piss test, if you can't piss in the cup, like they count that as a fail. So they locked me up for 2 weeks. But like the dude was sitting there, and when you're on probation, I'm about to piss in this cup, and there's a dude that just kind of takes one knee, like the end of a football game, and he's just staring at your dick, waiting for you to pee, which is like a hard situation to pee in. And one time he goes, "Dude, if you don't pee in the next 45 seconds, we're just going to take you to jail." And I was like, that's not helping at all. So what I would have to do is every day I had probation meetings, I would wake up in the morning, and on the drive to the probation office, I would drink like a tall boy of a Keystone.
That's sure to get you pissing.
Because by the time I got to the meeting, like we'd be halfway through the meeting, and I'd be like, "Hey, if you're going to piss test me, do it, because I can barely walk right now." And I would just piss in that cup, and he's got on one knee, and there's splashback, and I'm like, I just didn't even give a fuck.
Foamy.
You know? Yeah, like I was just trying to throw it back beer. At him. Anyways, it's good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for
being here with you guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Lawrence Rosales is a comedian friend of ours who I thought was on a lot more often than he is, because you've been back since like October.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The holidays and whatnot.
Been staying busy, man. Been staying busy.
Yeah, are you you got any shows to plug?
Yeah.
Got any 3 p.m. shows to plug coming up?
Yeah, I'm not. They don't put me on the 3 p.m. lineup anymore. I'll be at Dallas Hyenas tomorrow night with Mike Stanley, 2 shows. And then I'll be with him in Fort Worth on Saturday night at the Fort Worth Hyenas, 2 shows.
Why don't you marry him?
I might. He's a good-looking dude. Really good-looking dude, yeah.
Okay.
I looked at the picture and got a little intimidated.
This guy looks like a mega church pastor.
Yeah.
He's ripped.
He looks like a fancy hat.
Okay.
As a person, yeah. Got a real fancy hat face. I've met him before, but that was like 6 years ago, so I don't know. I hope he doesn't remember me.
People change.
I don't know who I was then.
Just ask us.
Let's see. I'm looking at today's run sheet to promote what we got coming up, because we are live streaming today, right?
Yeah.
We are on.
Okay. I mean, I don't know.
I think
That's you and Rob. You and Rob are live streaming today. And we will talk Cowboys as the Cowboys the Cowboys coaching search is in full gear. Mavs have controversy. We have a brand new segment. You haven't done this yet, have you? Gummy thoughts?
No.
not
Brought to us
officially.
by
Not
Early Bird?
formally. Yeah.
Yeah, you do
We
it
had
every day.
Yeah, we had the Friends and Family opening last week.
Okay. But a new segment, Gummy Thoughts. Just things that maybe if you were on a gummy, Lawrence,
Yeah.
that you might enjoy talking about. It's Thursday. So you know what that means, Blake?
The Thursday viewer mail follow-up extravaganza inclement fossil thing.
That's right.
And what else do we got? I think that's probably about it. Oh, Today in Twitter. Should we start with Today in Twitter?
Yes. Yes, we should.
Want to throw a sponsor? Let's give it to Fair Lease.
Ooh.
They're a great sponsor.
They are a great sponsor. Fairlease.org. We've heard from several listeners who have taken this journey and leased their next vehicle with Fairlease, like Robert. He says, I've been wanting a new car. Matthew at Fairlease gave me the white glove service you've been talking about. Easy to do. Told him what I wanted within a week. Boom. Chevy Tahoe right in my driveway. Delivered by Matthew himself. Worked with Danny to lower the monthly payment. And that's the experience you're going to get from Fairlease. Blake knows.
Yeah, I'm working with Matthew right now, and I haven't been able to decide between a couple cars, so Matthew's setting up a test drive for me. So this is not all over the phone. You do actually get to drive your car a little bit if you'd like. But yeah, I now understand what white glove service is all about.
Yeah. Ooh. White glove service. February 7th, by the way, we're going to have a remote that involves Fairlease. That's the only details I can give you right now. But
really?
Mark your calendars. And if you're leasing a car, go to fairlease.org, Dan.
Okay, I will. We are doing
The Dumb Zone presents
So are you familiar at all? I'll ask you, Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
Because I think everyone else here is, with the story of the Philadelphia Eagle fan who was berating a Packer fan at the Eagles game.
No, I did not see this.
Okay, so this went viral. Rob, this is that Twitter video that I sent you. So we can watch and listen, because many people are just listening. But this is what went viral just a few days ago, right after the Eagles beat the Packers.
After reviewing the play, the runner was short of the goal line.
Looks like you're up in the 300s.
Yeah, got a real buzzball.
There's a lady dressed in Packers gear, and then look at the guy behind her.
Row behind. Husband.
So basically,
yeah,
the basic thing is this guy is, I mean, it's not like he's putting her in physical harm. He's not.
I have
but he
thoughts.
is calling her
a dumb cunt.
A dumb cunt. It's and then
ugly,
apparently
ugly dumb.
An ugly dumb. Yeah, nobody's focusing on the ugly part. So this goes viral. Then you get what you get is the hey, internet, do your thing. Let's find out who this guy is.
Love that.
Internet does its thing.
Because do you remember the last one?
Huh.
The Ravens fan that was fighting 49ers fans?
Vaguely. There's been a lot of them. What happened with him?
This guy was walking downtown Baltimore, I think.
Oh, the dude who was going to jail. Yeah, the guy in the Lamar jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a big deal at like some financial firm or something. And he's like blackout. Big boy, too.
Huge.
Yeah, looked like one of the fucking Facebook twins. What were those guys?
The Winklevoss twins?
Yes, sorry. I'm trying not to swear, Blake. I know you have things to edit.
No. But
and
anyway,
he just starts punching dudes on the street. And he ended up going to jail.
Yeah, he pummeled these two guys. Anyway, it's videoed. And I think that's where this is why this is a story, is because NFL Twitter found that guy, got him fired, and apparently he's going to jail. So now this is a thing.
Jail?
Not this guy.
Oh, okay.
Not the Eagles guy.
Yeah, that guy was committing felony assault.
Winklevoss guy, yeah, for sure. But
this guy also lost his job.
Yeah.
The Eagles guy. That's why I was
the
confused.
Eagles guy? What was he?
Some consulting firm, right? Just generic.
I feel like I had a couple thoughts.
There were some letters.
Yeah, BCT Partners Consulting.
We all know Eagles fans are terrible. Like, if you're going to go there and walk in, like, shouldn't you at least bring something? Like, you should just have, like, a backpack full of cheesesteaks. Like, somebody could have just handed that guy a cheesesteak in the middle of that, and he would be like, oh, okay, well, thanks.
You have to have something. Or you have to have thick skin and just realize you're wearing Packers gear at the link.
Yeah.
That's a little victim blaming. Look what she was wearing, Judge.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
I'm with you.
Had he physically assaulted her, that would have been my line. I don't think just calling somebody names is worth getting fired over.
Oh,
now,
definitely not. Definitely not.
There are other things I have.
Getting someone fired over what they called you is being a fucking cunt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
no,
Like,
it's
like,
ironic how this works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that the other day
sorry,
whenever
Blake.
I was telling them, like, sorry, camera kick. The guys at Shane that are like, oh, you know, they just want to yell like, oh, it's okay for me to say gay, yeah. And my thought was like, well, it's fine if you say it or whatever, but being that excited about it to me seems gay.
Yeah, that is funny.
It seems like a weird thing. But no, this guy, we may have to play the video again, but there's a couple really funny parts. So it starts out and she's doing like almost like a higher up Trump dance, like with her fists. Women do this a lot, like for sale. And then if you can hear on the PA, they got stopped at the 1. And so the guy who is the offender here, his big complaint was like, you don't cheer like that if it's not a touchdown. And he's like, you don't do the jack off and come in the air move if it's not a touchdown. And he's like protecting the honor of that celebration.
Yeah,
which is pretty gay.
Yeah, like,
we don't come at the 1 yard line. We do not come at the 1 yard line.
Wait to break that out. And then the other thing, which doesn't really translate all that well to audio, and I am certainly guilty of this as a fan. You got a big stand, right? Maybe a big third down, as Blake would call it, or a goal line stand. and you stand in your seat and you kind of hunch over and put your put your hands on your knees,
helping
like,
the team out.
Yeah, like you're about to just get low and win the line of scrimmage. It's such a dork move.
I do that when it's like third down and I'm at home on the couch. Like I stand up and like kind of get behind the couch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So his name is Ryan Caldwell.
Ryan Caldwell.
And the New York Post got a hold of him.
Ooh.
Yeah. And he said that the video does not reflect the full context of what transpired, and my actions were not without provocation. Let's see. He put out a statement. While attending an NFL game last Sunday to support my beloved Philadelphia Eagles, an incident occurred that I deeply regret. What began as banter with two Packer fans sitting next to me escalated to something more serious, and I said things that were unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
In the heat of the moment, I chose unforgiving words to address one of the fans, Ms. Allie Keller. I want to sincerely apologize to Ms. Keller for those words, and to my wife, family, and friends, my former employer and colleagues, Packer fans, Eagle fans, the Philadelphia Eagles, the city of Philadelphia, and all who were offended.
Okay, that's quite a wide swath.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
That said, there are two sides to every story.
Phenomenal.
The video clip circulating online does not reflect the full context of what transpired, and my actions were not without provocation. I will live with this experience. I am certainly paying a personal price. For those who don't know me,
hold on.
Do you want to guess? Any guesses? We're
we're
rounding third. We're heading for home with this statement.
I go Big C. He's dealing with cancer.
For those, it does not represent who I am.
That's standard, yeah. Anything?
Doesn't represent who I am. I wish he'd double down. That's what I wish.
For those who don't know me or know me.
For those who don't know me, this incident does not reflect my values or the respect I have for others and is not indicative of the person I am.
Yeah, you went standard. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love in the story in the New York Post and in a couple others I've seen this. They say that the guy's been banned from the link.
Yeah.
And I really can't find any statement from the Eagles on this. I have found the statement. There's a statement from his job saying like, But I haven't found a statement from the Eagles. The closest we have is an Eagles podcaster who said that Big Dom is aware of the situation.
Yeah.
Big Dom, the Eagles.
Do you hate him? Redskins fan hates Big Dom?
He is a beating. He's dead. So the
like
Eagles have a guy who's like he looks like he's Tony Soprano, and he's their head of security. And he's on the sideline. He has a headset.
Yeah, he's
a
next
big
to the coach.
Triple hot dog neck, meathead guy, and he's just Philadelphia in a person.
I just feel like if we haven't learned anything from Donald Trump, don't apologize.
Yeah.
Double down. Go even harder.
What if because the Eagles won 22-10, what if he just put out a statement that just said scoreboard?
Yeah, 22-10, you see? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think walking into the opponent's stadium dressed like that and yelling is like kind of antagonistic. Isn't that the whole idea?
Yeah, do you have the second part?
There's Dom Lawrence.
So,
here's... God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, looks
got the gold chain.
How did he become a national treasure? What did he do last year?
He looks like he beats off to other O-tackles.
Something happened last year.
Yeah, what was it? What was the big thing?
He bowed up to a player, didn't he?
Yeah. What was
he was like banned from the sideline for a little
Dre
while.
Greenlaw.
Yeah.
It just looks like the whole hot dog roller at a Quick Trip.
Anyway, this is the new internet, though. So it used to be, we go find this guy, we get him fired, and people put down their pitchforks and look for the next guy.
Can I keep guessing? I like cultural guesses.
Huh.
Does he have like a GoFundMe or anything?
The guy that got fired?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But GoFundMe is part of this story, if you don't know. So the new thing, perhaps this isn't new. Remember the kid that was bullied because somebody poured milk and ham down his shirt?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sounds like
And what
sixth grade.
So at first, like LeBron is standing up for this kid, and people are inviting him to their
Yeah. So
games.
what you're referring to is what we in internet language call a milkshake duck.
a what?
What's that?
A milkshake duck, because there was a comedian who once like tweeted out basically, hey, the internet's fallen in love with milkshake duck because it's like awesome. Ducks are cute. You love milkshakes. Look at this duck drinking a milkshake. Everyone loves the milkshake duck, and then we regret to inform you the next day, like milkshake duck is racist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
And so that's
what
played
happened
out
to
1,000 times.
The
Yeah.
mom of the kid was
The
like,
ham kid, his mom was like a super, super racist post, that sort of thing.
yeah.
And then
just feel
LeBron
like-
had to back out.
When I was a kid, if you got like milk and ham poured down your shirt, you would be like, well, I'm just going to carry this around with me. You know, this is going to be one of my secrets that I'll tell somebody when I'm much older or a
Right.
therapist. And now, like, if you get milk and ham poured down your shirt, you'd stand up and go like, tell everybody.
Well, yeah, no,
your
mom
mom-
put it
tell
online.
everybody.
Your mom is like, we could
Mom
go.
puts it online,
Yeah.
and it gets tons of support until then we go search all the other mom posts, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Who did more damage? Like the bully
The
or
bully
the
or
mom?
the mom, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, only the therapist will be able to tell in a couple of decades. Well, so now we're going to go search. Well, what about the guy that's videoing? Let's go search his history.
the husband.
Well, now they're just calling him an influencer who did this on purpose to go viral.
Ah.
One charge is that he knew this would happen, so he allowed his girl to be a piñata for aggressive drunk men at a sporting event to film to go viral for clicks and likes. His name is Alex Basara. And in fact, the reason he was at the game is because he set up a GoFundMe for some of his followers. I guess he's a pretty low-level YouTube Instagrammer or whatever.
Okay.
Very low level based on the seats.
Who put together a GoFundMe to be able to go to this game. And he put on his GoFundMe, my name is Alex, but you may know me as Basarowski Productions on YouTube, or simply just Bass, B-A-S.
Bass man.
The Packers are heading to playoffs, going into Philly next Sunday to take on the number 2 seed Eagles. Things are gloomy right now in Packers fandom, but this one thing is certain. I'm still confident. I believe in this team. Let's see. I ask of you, the fans, send me to Philly. Send me into the belly of the beast. I've done it multiple times, repping the Packers proud. I'm fully ready to do it again. I've been cursed at, had stuff thrown at me, and even my first ever cheese head ripped off my head and thrown into a fire bin while supporting my team in Philly, but I'm sure as hell not scared to do it again.
Okay, hold on. That rules. The Eagles fan is like knocks the cheese head off his head and throws it into a fire in the parking lot.
And nobody cared about that.
No.
And no, nobody cared about that.
And yes, then the tweet that he put out is he put out that video that we watched and listened to, what it's like going into Philly just to root for your team. Unprovoked, uncalled for, Packers Twitter, help me out. Find this guy. This is not okay. I hate that my fiance had this happen simply for cheering for her team.
Okay.
And yes, now calls are to release the full video. I mean, it's worked really well for Alex, even if he's called out as an influencer who just staged this.
Mm-hmm.
Because now maybe he can string this along, and maybe he will, or release the whole video, and more people will tune into his thing, right?
Yeah, it's not what I would
There's a
call a
picture of
small
him.
channel. You know, his
many
vlog,
followers? Yeah.
like 60K.
Yeah, these aren't doing terrible.
His vlog from that game. Oh no, that's not from that game. He hasn't put one up from that game yet. But he's averaging 10,000+ views. My thought is, like, I've always wanted to go to an Eagles game, a Cowboys Eagles game, and I would wear a Dez jersey, but I understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be upset about it if somebody is, I'll have fun with it. That's what I've always wanted to do that. But of course, I also secretly wish I was an Eagles fan.
It probably would be more fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think my energy matches theirs much more.
The antagonistic people, though, is like where that's like, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, I would not. I don't think I'd be loud like I would maybe at a home game. I've been antagonistic at home. I was thinking about that the other day. We talked about this, I think, but one of the first sporting event I went to with my wife was a Cowboys Giants game. Do you guys remember Victor Cruz and the salsa?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I was hitting that salsa right in front of every Giants fan on the way out. It was a beatdown, and I was like really feeling it. Night game, hammered, obviously, and just every guy who was beaten down, who looked like Dom.
And she married you.
Hey.
She knew. It's that hog.
Yeah.
It's that hog, yeah.
I was just all about my penis.
That thing can overcome any other shortcomings.
We're going to drug
that he's
test
had.
it. We're going to drug test it.
We will drug test this hog in the future.
Yeah.
But as for right now. All right. Well, there's a little Today in Twitter for you. Oh, we even have a close.
And that was Today in Twitter.
That's fun.
That is fun.
Should we stick with football and do a little Cowboy stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, things are happening.
You want to bring this to us by Ownwell? Do we say that? It's brought to you by Ownwell. You want to bring this to us by Ownwell?
You can do it however you want. What Ownwell is going to do is help you save money, particularly on your property taxes. 86% of their customers receive a reduction. This is like the good kind of reduction. You know what I mean?
Not like the Punky Brewster kind?
Yeah, right. The slap in the face to God.
Yeah.
Not Ownwell. 86% of
She had a
you
breast reduction.
receive a reduction.
Oh, no.
And that's the only way you pay. And even when you do pay, you're going to get a better rate than you would at other places. Blake's used Ownwell. I signed up the other night. I'm going through the process right now. It's very, very simple. And they're even saving Blake money on his phone bill.
Yeah, they'll do more than just property tax bills, but Jake, property tax bills in Texas due at the end of the month. So that's what they're trying to cater to. So sign up in under 3 minutes. It's free. They only take what they save you, so it's seriously no risk at all. Ownwell.com/thedumbzone.
Thank you, Blake.
And thank you, Ownwell.
Yeah, so I
Thank
guess
you,
the couple Cowboys news of the day things. Were you like a Cowboy fan growing up or anything?
Yeah,
at
for
all?
sure.
Okay, so you have fond Deion memories.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So let's start with Ed Werder's tweet this morning because everybody's doing the Deion does not have an official interview. Robert Saleh will be interviewed this weekend, and then Leslie Frazier, who's a guy you might have forgot about.
Is he the new Marvin Lewis?
Will be interviewed. Dude, I was going to talk about this because I went to his Wikipedia page, right? He's currently the assistant head coach of the Seahawks. Usually an assistant head coach is also the special teams coach or OCDC. He is the assistant head coach. And if you look at his interview page, like the teams that have interviewed him, he has his own potential return to head coaching page because he's not been a head coach since 2013. He's been interviewed like 7 times.
Who was he the head coach of?
The Vikings.
Oh, okay.
For a couple years. And he's been a DC since then, but he's been interviewed by, let's see.
So the 65-year-old black
Texans,
guy, you
the
don't
Ravens,
think they're actually
the Dolphins,
really interested?
The Giants, the Bears, and now the Cowboys. And I actually didn't know this, changes to the Rooney Rule. You have to interview 2 minority candidates for head coaching and, I believe, GM positions.
I did that.
Salah's one, right?
Or I knew that because the New England did that right away.
Knock it
Byron
out.
Leftwich and somebody else. I can't remember who.
So that's
before officially hiring Vrabel.
So maybe Saleh and Leslie Frazier both kind of, because, Saleh's Lebanese, certainly a minority.
Why wouldn't Deion be one?
Well, Deion's not an official interview yet, so who knows if that's happening.
He will.
He probably will, but I feel like it's either going to be he's hired or they don't talk. I don't see a situation where they interview him and it doesn't happen.
I don't know, because I was thinking about that too. I feel like an interview is beneficial for both parties, even if both parties know it's never going to happen. Deion loves hype. He loves to be in the news. He loves to be talked about. And it also might have Colorado toss a little bit, another year or 2 on that deal or something. You know how that works in college football.
It does. I just wonder how far it can go in Colorado. It's one thing if you're Nick Saban.
But I mean, what were they making 3 years ago compared to today?
So Ed Werder's tweet is, regarding Deion Sanders, I'm being told that he would almost certainly accept if Jerry Jones offers to make him the next head coach, and that those around him are encouraging him to pursue it, and that Jones is enamored with the idea.
It's going to make our losses that much more embarrassing, because it just creates all the hype.
Yeah,
I just wish we would do.
When you win, though,
and
you've got Deion, and he's just.
I do like his
talking
beard.
his shit.
I do like his beard.
Dude, he's like grizzled Deion now. He's got half a foot. He got a gray beard.
I mean, I am a big fan of the CEO coach. The culture. You see Harbaugh comes into San Diego this year.
Harbaugh, not a scheme guy. Talk to anybody who's ever played or worked for him. You're right. It's not like he's in there installing the plays.
Yeah, culture versus scheme is a big thing.
Dan Campbell's so much fun.
Yeah.
And Dan Campbell's that guy, too.
He's that guy for sure.
But let's have really good assistants around you. Deion is never going to be I have to call the plays, I'm the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator. I mean, that's what he is.
Yeah.
He is the CEO, head coach. He's got a good relationship with Mike Zimmer. I don't know if Mike Zimmer's still going to be around.
Well, so that's another.
But he's also got a really good relationship with a lot of ex-players. And you might bring them in like Dan Campbell did. Dan Campbell, just all ex-players are his coaches.
And it was laughed at the time.
Yeah.
Very much so.
That. But so here's the wild part. So you've got Deion over here.
The wild part was watching Dan Quinn win that playoff game. That was the wild part, and realizing what a bunch of idiots.
And Kellen Moore is the OC for the Eagles. I mean, I always loved Kellen Moore. I know that it got a little bit stale at the end, but apparently they've requested to interview him as well. But there's another guy, and I saw Jane Slater on NFL Network talking about this. Oh, you're going to have to pull me up here real quick.
One name I didn't want to necessarily throw out yesterday, Mike and Tom, was Jason Witten. It's been my understanding that Jerry has talked to Jason in recent weeks, and I do believe that he was part of a plan that Jerry initially had when he was going to bring back Mike McCarthy. I think the plan there was to make him an heir apparent of sorts. Mike McCarthy sort of surprised him by deciding that he wanted to end these conversations, pursue something else. We can call them negotiations, contracts, conversations, whatever you want to call them. Now we'll see if Jason Witten will still be in play here. I just don't know if that would be in a head coach role, but I do believe that he thinks very strongly of Jason Witten and his future as a coach. I just don't know in what capacity that would look like.
So you take that, and then you have more from Ed Werder. I believe there is a very high probability that, depending upon whom is hired as head coach, that Witten will be included in the staff. There were scenarios discussed with McCarthy when he was hired where that could have happened, but McCarthy was understandably concerned. Basically, they wanted to Wade and Garrett cuck him, perhaps remembering how Wade Phillips inherited Jason Garrett, who eventually replaced him. So I've also heard this from a couple other people now, that Witten is going to be here. And the idea definitely was to have McCarthy with Witten.
I love that Dan Campbell's creating clones now.
All right.
Like, we need another white
for a
tight
while.
end,
Yeah, for a while it was just like, whether you like the Cliff wave or whatever, but it was all hot guys.
It was?
Or cool, like
who were the
Sean
hot guys?
McVay,
LaFleur,
Kevin
and Stefanski and shit. They were all white guys who had kind of my haircut and were like a D3 slot receiver.
Jake is saying he's hot.
Yeah,
paid a lot of
I
attention.
picked up on that too.
I said my haircut.
Yeah.
I said my haircut. They don't look like other than Mike McDaniel.
They all kind of look like me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed that about all the hot guys in the NFL.
I was a receiver, so. No, but maybe the Campbell will be a trend. I don't know. But what is Jason Witten going to do if he works here and he's not the head coach?
Well,
what was he going to do for Mike McCarthy? And how the hell would Mike McCarthy be like, yeah, this is great. Why don't we bring in the new Mr. Cowboy?
No, I think the one-star Cowboy guys, the podcast guys mentioned this too, they could Wade and Garrett him with the knowledge of the Wade, that maybe you slide Mike Zimmer over in between the pipes.
Yeah.
He's the head coach, knowing that Jason Witten is the head coach in waiting.
Does that happen in the NFL?
It did here. Although Wade
didn't know.
Really know, but Wade knew he was on a Victor, like a little tour, a little fun bit that he was doing for a couple years.
Feels like that's college. I don't know. Maybe it was them too. I heard somebody mention that the Rangers already have that set up.
Yeah, Skip Shoemaker is the former, of course, we know him as the Marlins manager who was fired this year.
When I heard that, I was like, oh, that's a guy who exists.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But, man, I'm starting to feel like it's going to be Deion or Prime. Or, excuse me, Deion or Witten.
I was thinking a lot about your family business chat because I think it's very accurate. And as Jerry is aging, I think he's losing a little bit of his fastball for capturing the headlines. So if he did want to keep the Cowboys in the spotlight without it being himself, Deion would be a great candidate for that. That way, Steven and Charlotte and Jerry Jr. don't have to do the same circus he does. You got your coach to do that.
Wise man right there.
Then if you're putting together, the breadcrumbs or whatever, connecting the dots, whatever. The Jerry was on The Fan this past fall, and they were asking him about Deion being a head coach, and he might have given you a clue on why he doesn't see him as an NFL head coach.
Well, I would say how much I'm in the camp for the success of Deion and what he is, how he has become the coach that he is today. It's not surprising. He's as great an athlete and a real great one. He's just as much a person and just as much got the kind of energy. And he just would jump out at you as someone that young men would be inspired by and be led by. And, of course, he's got an outstanding boy there and is going to go extremely high in the draft.
It is his son, so you're allowed to say that, I think.
But I think we're way ahead of ourselves relative to when and if he decides to go into coaching in the NFL. And one of his greatest skills that he really brings to college is that he is almost has no peer as far as being a recruiter. And, kids want to come play for him, and and he has a way of selling that. And that is one skill, that recruiting skill, that is not a huge prerequisite for NFL coaches.
So,
yeah, we talked about that a little bit at the time, and there's something to it, but
there's something to, like, that's in Jerry's head. Like, you're good in college because you can recruit, but you couldn't do that here.
But you think it's hard to change Jerry's mind?
I don't think it'd be hard for Deion to change his mind.
Now I was going to say, you get in a room together, and Deion's like, look, I'm going to bring in the best coordinators. I'm going to bring in the best this and that. We're going to, we can speak to these kids. I know their language. I'll relate to Micah. I'll relate to,
Yeah. I just can't see a scenario where Witten and Deion work together.
No.
That feels no chance. Because I enjoyed our dealings with Jason Witten. For the most part, there were a couple times where, they would lose and he would just ghost us the next day.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know how to say this because I wasn't there, but I think he was like a little bit more of a hard ass. Bordering on a-hole in the room than people think.
It's got a real dry cheeseburger vibe to him. You know what I mean? Like, no sauce.
I just think he was, whether it's, people might say, like, what are you going to take Marty B's word for it? But, like, Marty B made it seem like Witten was very intent on, like, you're not taking anything from me. Like Favre and Aaron Rodgers type thing. And he's a nice guy, but I also think he's a little bit crazy. And I guess I also think that about Deion, so I don't know that they would work together at all. So it's probably either Deion comes in and he's hiring coordinators, or someone else is the head coach like Mike Zimmer or Leslie Frazier, I guess, and they have Witten foisted upon them, which always works.
Right, but it's a very Cowboys thing to do.
Very much, yeah. So, I feel like it's going to be one of those two now, which is crazy.
I feel like I want Deion only because whatever. you know?
Right? Just give me a show. Give me a show to watch because it's either gonna be terrible or a show to watch.
I mean, would you want? Let's say he said, "I want Ben Johnson." Would that really excite you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it would excite me. That would scratch the itch of fan and media person, I guess, that I would like, because they run crazy ass plays. That's fun every week. Oh, look, the fat guy threw the ball. That would be enough for me.
If you're Ben Johnson and you have the choice of all the jobs that are open, what are you taking?
I don't know. Did you hear Troy talking about this the other day? Like, he was on pregame on Monday Night Football, and Scott Van Pelt's like, it's a top 5 job.
Oh, as far as like
Troy said, I don't know about that.
I was about to say the same thing. Is this a place you want to come anymore?
Yeah, that's the thing. Now, there's only 6 jobs, and I think that's probably about average. You maybe could sell me on like Jacksonville being better. Just because.
Well, it depends what you think of Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
But as far as you would have more power, although they did keep their GM, who has been responsible for.
They did, but I also watched their end of season little press conference clips, and their dastardly Indian owner, or I can't recall. He looks like Arthur Blank, but from the subcontinent. I feel like he's up to a little crime.
Yeah, I don't know what Alibaba is, but like I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, if you're like, this guy owns it, I'd be like,
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
He said in that, with Trent Baalke, the GM, on the call, somebody asked about, like, hey, who's going to be in charge? He's like, I want the coach to be in charge. And they're like, well, what if they wanted the GM fired? He's like, that's something we'd look at.
Wow, okay.
So who knows, but I definitely would still take Trevor Lawrence over Dak.
No, the question is Trevor Lawrence over Caleb. If he had his choice of those jobs.
Yeah, that's true.
It feels like Mike McCarthy is going to New Orleans. If you are just to look at everybody and where he might land, only because Chicago, I think, really wants Ben Johnson. Now, does Ben Johnson not choose Chicago? Don't know. Because I could also we put together McCarthy in Chicago before the season was over.
I know, based on just him looking like sausage.
He looks like sausage, and he has, ushered a couple of young quarterbacks into.
Sure, Caleb's also a big Aaron Rodgers guy.
Is he?
Yeah,
like they're similar.
He talks about him a lot. Yeah, so I could see that. You got the Packers rivalry, but just back to the Cowboys. I can't believe that they did this way again. Like, McCarthy got flown to Chicago yesterday. They asked to interview him a week ago. And Jerry's like, oh, well, look, it's in the contract. You can only talk to me, so
I think
tough
at that
titties.
time he really thought he was going to get him an incentive later.
Does he
in the
just
contract.
think this every time? Like, every time he goes
he
into
thinks he can sweet talk anybody.
I guess it's like Dan's rule on office place harassment. It's worked enough.
Here, take this 2-year deal. Take this incentive-based contract. Take Jason Witten on your staff. Take this play caller.
Yeah.
I think Jerry's treating the team the same way we do now, where it's like, who gives a shit? Like, I'm tired of watching it too. Like, imagine, like, this year watching the Cowboys felt like a punishment. Like, if somebody's told me, they're like, hey, you got to sit down and watch this for 3 hours and hope something good happens. Like, it would be a punishment.
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
I would have skipped several of the games for better games had it not been my commitment to my craft.
One more Cowboy thing.
I have one more also.
Oh, go ahead.
Well,
mine was
going
to ask you about. I didn't know what you thought of or I thought you had some Micah audio or something.
The Micah stuff is just, it's not even worth playing.
Okay.
He only spends about 3 minutes on the Cowboys, and he's like, hey, the only thing I was going to tell you guys about, and I didn't pull it, was like, I should be involved in these conversations.
Oh, really?
As far as the defense.
Oh, God.
He's like, hopefully I've gotten to a level where I will get that kind of treatment, that, the type of players that I want to play with and the type of coordinator that I
GM now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, dude, we'll give you a good parking spot, but like, relax. Should every good player have a podcast now?
Yes.
Oh, dude.
You think so?
And we've heard.
I've seen these
it's good
clips,
for us,
and I'm like,
but-
this is terrible.
Yeah,
This
his is
terrible.
really bad. It's funny because it's Micah, but his takes, we could probably pull one up, but it basically sounds like Jaden Daniels. Bro.
Man. Bro.
Bro.
That's right,
I mean,
bro.
Like,
I
on
love
God, bro, rookie of the year. He just doesn't really say anything. And they don't get Trayvon Diggs on, who is an energy vampire.
Yeah, he never. And
Draymond
he doesn't
says
criticize
nothing.
anyone, but then you have to read between the lines, and he never praises Dak.
No, he'll rank like the top 10 QBs, and he'll get to 12. Like maybe 10's not enough, and Dak never comes up. Like he just doesn't. I've also heard Dak hates it that he has the show.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, he's like,
I hate that he has the show, and I don't even listen to it.
So the one thing I was gonna play real quick was just this. You've seen these like the AI sports press conferences that are really popular now. They're mostly just not good.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they're going to get better, but I listened to this and I just wanted us to at least get a one-up on the robots for now because this had like 4,000 retweets. I just don't think it's that good.
Is this a Jerry thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I've saw people talking about it, but I don't even click on them. Yeah, let's see.
It's a Perkins menu.
Oh, no, hold on.
I fired Mike McCarthy because he looks like a fucking pork chop. And I hate that big-ass play call sheet he holds during games. We all know it's a Perkins menu. I'm not even sure we need a coach.
So the writing is not bad, but the voice is not even close to me. Like the inflection.
Hell, maybe we already have a coach in mind. Maybe.
It sounds like John Wayne. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like Jerry to me.
Half drunk on Johnny Walker Blue with only an Egg McMuffin in his belly and a pocket full of Dinger pills. Maybe he's 82 fucking years old and needs his ass wiped from time to time, depending on how much.
Blake apparently likes it.
It's the over-cussing.
Yeah. This is really probably the only punchline.
How many shares? How many tweets? How many
Dude, I'm telling you, it had 4,000 retweets.
It was everywhere. It was on Instagram,
so that means 200,000. Like,
as somebody who has to put stuff out on social media, like sometimes I'll see a clip and like what it is, I'm like,
I know.
I got like 200 on my last clip, and I thought it was gonna just.
I know.
Off.
I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
They're suppressing you.
They are. What's up with Elon, man?
Elon.
I feel weird too. Like I know there's another. I will not use a name, but a comedian that I used to interact with more often locally. He will tweet like a lot of stuff that is supposed to be a joke, and I'm like, I feel like that's what the writing room is for. Like, not every thought that you think is funny should be tweeted. And then I'll go back and look at it. It has like 3 likes.
Yeah.
So it's like it didn't even really do numbers to, like you said, it could be bad and do numbers, and you're like, well, at least I got that out of it.
Yeah.
But it's like the structure of a joke, and I'm like, that's not very funny, and no one laughed.
I never, like, anytime I think, like, the last clip I put up, which was probably like 2 weeks ago, was like one of my new bits, and I was so proud of it, and I felt like it was like relevant, and I was like, oh, this is gonna, and I rarely think this was like, this is gonna do great. Just did almost nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and then the clip where you're like, I don't even like this one, and you throw it on there, and it just takes off.
But it sounds like you're kind of judicious about it. This guy I'm speaking of will tweet 3 jokes a day. And I don't think you have one this week that you should keep.
I forget to promote myself often.
Hello.
Every Thursday we do this. We get email every day. Almost. Is that a brag?
Kind of.
Hey, look.
Who doesn't get email?
It's a day of brags.
These guys have email addresses too. It's not just mine, but you can go to what is it?
The Thursday viewer mail follow-up extravaganza inclement fossil thing.
No, dumbzone.com. Lists our email address somewhere in there?
I think so.
Yeah. No, I know so, because I, again, humble brag.
Homo brag?
Yeah, homo brag.
Homo brag.
Homo.
I probably get 2 a day of somebody who does not listen to our show but found my email and is like, I'm an alcoholic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Or my son. Something like that. And they'll be like, I found your email on the website.
Like the email indicates you're an alcoholic?
No, I think they probably heard through the grapevine.
Alcohol.com?
What makes you want to have a drink the most?
I honestly don't have that desire right now.
Oh,
I
yeah?
swear to God, I don't.
All right.
The one thing I will tell you is when the weather got really cold and it was like snowing, that was the first time I was like, damn, like a glass of brown would be nice.
Yeah, for sure.
But weather changes I think that's a common thing. Do you ever like, oh, it's spring, where's my needle? Do you ever get that?
No. There are certain
the birds are a chirping.
There are certain cleaning supplies.
Dude, I heard that at rehab.
Yeah, there's certain cleaning supplies. Like I'll just be walking down the hallway at like a random building and just get a whiff of like, I don't know, whatever cleaner they use. And I'm like, that's definitely what my stuff was made with.
Good stuff,
dude. There was one of the
which is weird, like some Fabuloso just hit you sideways.
One of the therapists there, she had done meth for 20+ years.
Wow,
they're making like you're triggering items upon leaving, and for her and every person who was into meth there agreed it was power tools.
Power tools?
Yeah, she was like, I can't, like certain types of drills. I don't know what they were doing with it, if it was the heat, like if you're drilling or something, but everybody was like, yeah, I can't go to Home Depot.
God, I used to buy from a guy, and he was like redoing his apartment, and I don't even think like redoing his apartment in ways that I don't think you're allowed to like redo. Like you can't just like knock down a wall in like a rented apartment. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
like, it was a 1-bedroom, but now it's 2. I was like, I don't think you're allowed to do any of this construction. But now that I remember it, yeah, he was doing a lot of
took down a load-bearing wall for an open concept.
And I was messed up enough that I was just like, man, you're pretty good at this stuff.
Yeah,
I got a text for you, Rob. If you'd like to look at the text and stuff, it's a picture of my wiener. So viewer mail is hey, zoom way in.
Load 4K.
Yeah.
Rivian.
Load in 4K.
Rivian is bringing us viewer mail today. It's
hell
their
yeah.
grand opening is Wednesday, the 29th. Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a little biz that day.
3010 Knox. We're doing a stream on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
A noon to 3 Wednesday stream on the 29th of January, 3010 Knox Street. You can explore Rivian's all-electric vehicles, including trucks and SUVs.
Very, very dope.
Visitors can browse materials and colors.
Wow.
Like they're
Multiple
allowing
colors?
you.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to look at the different colors. Some places would be like, you could sit in the vehicles and take a test drive.
Yeah, they're
So
very,
Rivian,
very cool.
That's my wife was talking about them the other day. She's heard a lot about Rivian.
Uptown Knox Street, normally just white, but there's going to be multiple colors.
So many colors.
Thank you.
So that's our next thing.
Yeah.
Public appearance.
So what do we got on the mail?
Let's see. I have story time, which starts out, Dear Clit Commander.
Of course it does.
I had to create an anonymous burner Hotmail account for this story. I wanted to share it with the class.
Oh, yeah.
He says, a few months back, I decided to visit a local escort for a roll in the hay.
Interested?
What are you, my uncle? Roll in the hay.
I wonder how long that
is. A very
how
high-fluent way to say prostitute.
Yeah,
that was all very good. Yeah.
I wonder how often that happens.
What?
The escort game. Is that good?
It's extremely popular.
As strong as ever?
It's got to be. How's the economy doing? Good? Then yeah.
Yeah.
I went to her hotel, sat down for small talk. We got down to business at hand. We're proceeding nicely. We get into it so quickly that the TV remained on.
Okay.
I love he's like, I'll fucking escort, but not with the TV on. I'm not paying. I'm distracted. What was on it? Okay, go ahead.
When I got there, apparently she had been watching Family Feud. Not my favorite show. Steve Harvey, kind of annoying. But not enough to really distract me. So I just fought through it. I'm not one who will let Steve Harvey ruin a good time. Then I encountered a problem. The next show on Channel 27...
I was just about to say.
What comes on after Family Feud?
Was the Dumb Zone.
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
DZTV.
God, just mid-stroke and thinking I'm going to have to
the short of it here is
send us an email.
It seems his big complaint here is he doesn't like Caitlin's theme song.
Well, not for that.
He said if it was the old Bad Radio Open or the Mark Robier Hang Zone Open, they would have helped hype me up.
Well, you finished too soon.
He said it would have either made me finish quick or given me the power to go the full hour.
Ow.
But he ended up having to turn off the TV. He didn't want to watch us
talking
about
Najee Marshall or
Cowboy
something.
head coach.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's great.
We have another Roseanne. Are you aware of the Roseanne bit?
I don't know, but are these going to get better? Because that was great. It seems like that should have been the closer. As a comic, that seems like the closer of the email.
We'll see.
Let's hear
Everybody's
the
a
Roseanne
critic.
story.
Everyone's a critic.
Let's hear the Roseanne
I saw this
story
guy
then.
bomb on a closer.
He
He had to come up with another closer out of the air.
You saw me maneuver well.
You
know?
did maneuver well,
Yeah.
but I knew you had a closer. It didn't go, and then I saw you scramble to pull another closer out
All
of your
right,
back
well,
pocket.
let's see you do the same, Dan.
The Roseanne list is essentially just it's kind of amorphous, nebulous, but I think that Roseanne, not new Roseanne, but Roseanne of the 80s and 90s, very specific look, and I see a lot of women who have that exact same look. My grandma, for example, was a Roseanne. Steve Bannon of the Republican Party fame, that guy's a Roseanne.
Yeah.
Travis Tritt, I believe I saw him at a festival. That guy right there, that guy looks like Roseanne.
Yeah, it looks like a closet. He's just got a wallet full of Kohl's cash. Is what he's got, like just a gift card for Kohl's for sure. In
You
that
get
guy's
it.
Back pocket.
Well, Adrian sent an email. Here's the Adrian email where he says, "Dear ham wallet tenderizer, can a Rolling Stone be a Roseanne?" And apparently this is Mick Taylor. You see that picture there? Mick Taylor.
Yeah, I'm looking at one right now where that's pretty Roseanne-ish.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. You
As
got to
of
have
now-
the jowls. And also, like, the hair helps because, like, that's her hair. It's just lesbian hair for the most part, right?
I like a butch man.
Yeah.
He says, as of now,
That one is the one I'm talking about.
Oh, my goodness.
That's
this
Roseanne.
He says, this is the year of Jake. If Jerry hires Cliff, it's no longer in doubt. More VJ Boyd and Bayless from Adrian, day one.
Thank you, Adrian.
Let's see. I have, hey, fellas, Stu here, the guy in the den last Monday, talking too much about Texas A&M's mascot and trying to change it. I know Dan likes biz, so I will share some metrics since we chatted. 555 unique visits to MakeRevAMuttAgain.com since we talked about it. You remember this guy?
Not only do I remember this guy, I am anxiously awaiting my T-shirt.
Okay.
I bought one.
So apparently, I can't say the name of the dog.
Reveille?
The dog for A&M used to be a mutt, and now it's like a collie.
Mm-hmm.
And the last whatever of them have been collies. But he says this all started, it was a mutt. And so he on MakeRevAMuttAgain.com, 35 new signatures on the petition, and 6 new orders from the merch store. Maybe one of those is yours.
I order mine after this.
Okay.
Upon his email.
He says, see you all at the Rivian space in Dallas on the 29th. Is Stu part of Rivian?
Yes.
He's the reason we're there.
Oh, okay.
35 signatures, going strong.
The purebred
he's gonna
dog
get it
thing
changed. I think he's
is
gonna get it
weird,
changed.
right? I mean, I know it fits like modern life, but they do get a lot of diseases, don't they?
Yeah, mutts are the strongest.
Like inbred type
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing? Oh, this is from a gay listener. We were talking, was it last week? About like if dudes, like gay dudes, are there gay dudes that like go to sporting events together? And
Yeah, like
they're both just bros and
right. There's no flannel guy. There's no like design guy. It's just
like if
a
it were
couple
gay,
guys.
if we were gay, it'd be great because then we watch games and
right,
like we share all the same interests.
yeah, and we would not argue. Like we talk a lot and we don't argue all that much. And so my thought also is
Can
again,
we have some sex? That'd be great.
if it
Bro, you want to have a
if it
little
pops
sex?
up, why? You know what? I was
Sure.
thinking the same thing. Why don't we go get some drinks, a cigar after?
Yeah.
Where do gay guys go to just look at other men? Like if guys go to Hooters, I guess you can just. Do the gay guys also go to Hooters?
They go to DZTV.
DZTV, yeah.
My thought was that you would always be awesome at like games, even like pick up basketball. You always know what each other want. You're used to that, so you're just vibing.
So this guy says this is in regards to the conversation about gay couples and their seemingly indifferent attitudes towards sports. Oh, okay. Maybe that was what we were talking about. Like, it's weird that they're dudes, but they don't like sports. My long-term partner and I met in hockey. Our first date was a Stars game, and we celebrate our anniversary at a Ranger game every year. He's a former goalie.
This is the hottest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Currently a hockey referee. And I work in game presentation for a professional team up north.
That's phenomenal.
Basically, the key to our relationship is that outside the bedroom, we're basically lifelong friends who share a love of sport. Unfortunately, hockey still isn't very accepting beyond the most surface level of tolerance, and being out would be career suicide for us both. For the most part, you're right. I found very few gay men like us. We are there, though, and we're both listeners.
Dude, that rocks.
From your anonymous friend.
That's very, very cool. That guy's life sounds great.
It is weird that the guy that's like banging an escort and the gay couple that work for the Stars like had to do the same thing. Like, hey, we got to keep this anonymous.
Keep this down.
Keep this anonymous.
Society looks at these exactly the same.
Yeah.
That's a cool deal. Good for them.
Uncle Hotmail, I have a monthly Blake review. This could be my last one. I'm losing momentum. Blake does an MBR, a monthly business review for our whole show, but he never brings up anything that he did for the month.
I like to bring up the important matters.
Yeah.
So Jack brings up a few things, and I actually pared it down.
You sure?
This was Jack?
No, this is a different Jack.
Okay.
You see how pissed
You don't
Jack is
own
our
every
intern.
Jack. Yeah, he was going to fire the intern.
This
Making
guy was
sure.
Jack popping
Just
off.
making sure the semester's turning. It might be time to end Jack, but okay.
On December 3rd, he said
What'd he say?
something about a daughter whose daughter began speaking in a British accent because of watching too much Peppa Pig.
Yeah, that was my buddy.
Okay, a buddy whose daughter. He said on December 6th, you confused Monty Burns with George Burns.
That was a tough look.
How will I recover?
You know who George Burns is?
Wait, George Burns?
Yeah, how old are you?
I think I've seen him at a wax museum.
Okay.
He was just the standard old guy.
He was an
that's what I'm
old
saying,
culture comedian.
Entertainment, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him at a wax museum.
He thought, and I imagine this is actually pretty common for people his age, George Burns, Mr. Burns, also very old, probably the same person.
Okay. I forgive you, Blake.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Blake's time capsule on the 6th. Blake assumes he won't ever have to experience a finger in the bottom rectal exam because some technology will be invented before he turns 45.
Yeah.
That's a great way to look at the world.
I don't think it's crazy.
I don't think medicine will get better by the time.
Why are we still doing this?
Yeah, right.
Like the guy that piss tested me at the probation that had to take a knee and watch people pee. I always think, like, what did he tell people he does after work?
Yeah.
At the bar. Like, what? I'm in forensics.
It does feel pretty...
Like, what do you say?
Pretty old school. I tweeted about this the other day with, like, radio ratings, how funny they are.
Yeah.
And our buddy Fitz replied, like, yeah, it's just like, let's get the list of things that are just, we still do it that way. For me, as I've said before, I think the fact that we still use signatures is weird. Like, how don't you write that down the same way you always have? Make sure it's pretty close to the same way you always have so we can know it's you. That's just a weird...
But most of them don't matter anymore. You write a line at the grocery store,
I know,
right?
but why even put it there? What is this performative thing?
That is cute. Yeah,
it's really weird. And then Fitz's was...
you're getting my autograph. Okay,
yeah.
All right, yeah.
This is certainly pertinent today. That if you wreck your car drunk, they're like, you can keep driving, but you got to blow in this. Like, this is the best we have?
People got to get where they got to
get. This is the best thing we have to do is, like, blow in there. You can't just have somebody else blow in there? I don't know how that works, actually.
Well, you could blow something and I'll let you keep driving.
Hell yeah, man.
You guys get it? My wiener. I was saying, like, if I was a cop, then I would do that.
Yep.
Oh. Blake's rules for Brooks. Blake has a 2-year-old boy.
3.
3 now?
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
All right. Everybody's got a 3-year-old boy but me.
Yeah.
But the night is young. On the 3rd of December, he says Brooks is not allowed to watch any shows that have accents.
I don't hate that, actually.
That was the Peppa Pig thing. Yeah, my buddy's daughter came home or watched enough Peppa Pig to where she was speaking in a British accent.
So you've banned it now?
And that worried me. So Brooks is not allowed to watch Peppa Pig.
I don't hate that.
He said Brooks is not allowed to watch Christmas content outside the month of December.
That's really weird.
Some things just need to remain special.
Okay, I kind of like that as well.
He's not watching Elf in June. You can watch Elf in December.
So if today he's like, I'd like one more run at Charlie Brown.
We already put it up in the attic.
Yeah. Lucium.
Up with his Halloween books. That'll come out in October. There's a time for these things.
And he said on the 19th of December, Brooks lost his screen time because he was afraid of Santa.
Yeah.
That one's been haunting Blake.
I mean, what did Santa do to him?
He appeared.
Yeah.
You know how kids cry when they see Santa?
Yeah.
And clam up and whatever?
Yeah.
Well, he punished his kid for doing that.
I took my kid to see Santa at a Bass Pro Shop.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there was a fire alarm, and everybody had to exit. And me and my son had been waiting in line for like a long time, to where I was pretty frustrated by it. And we're all out in the parking lot, and like I went over to Santa, I'm holding my son, and I turned around, and I just got a selfie. And he looked at me like I have a picture of like a Santa looking at me like, "We're not inside anymore, man. I'm just a guy out here." And I was like, "Whatever, dude, we got you." And we left. And I was like, "I got the picture. I got the picture."
Yeah.
Don't care about a fire.
A couple more general notes on the second. Blake's wife walked in on him lying on the ground in a happy baby pose, putting Gold Bond on his junk.
Yeah. I didn't want to waste any.
Yeah. I don't know why you looked at me when you said that. It felt
I
so
feel like
aggressive.
I'm trying to defend
it felt
myself
so,
to
okay,
you.
Okay.
I'll keep my thoughts over here.
Yeah.
And on the 13th, Blake said that he would love to tell someone it's on a need-to-know basis.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
That's baller.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about like shaving your taint?
I mean,
Gold
don't you
Bond
do
thing?
the...
You know, is that our business?
You don't do the beard trimmer down there?
In between your legs?
I mean, try to get
I'm
it
not
all
against
over.
it, so you don't have to be sheepish. I'm asking.
Yeah,
Like,
I try
I've never
to get it
tried
all
it.
over in there, but not,
You know,
we're not using a razor or anything.
I've been single for so long that like if I'm just gonna like I went and I had drinks with a old friend last night, and but I feel like if I shave down there, like there's something cocky about it.
There is like,
Like
oh
I'm
yeah, it's
planning
on.
on-
Yeah, like
It's
I,
on.
like, and I'm not, but I'm also trying to be polite. You know what I mean? Like if something were, I'm very alone. This doesn't happen a lot, but there is something that's a little too hopeful for me.
Yeah, I could see that. I've never gone like down in the region.
No.
And then, let's see, just a couple more here. Regarding a car wrap, we were talking about, wouldn't it be cool if somebody wrapped their vehicle with DumbZone, like the QR code and stuff?
I love it.
And you could subscribe, or maybe it just takes you to our YouTube page. I don't know. So,
Somebody's got to do it.
Will, this may be Wire Will, said, if I won't do a car wrap, they're a pain to put on and off and can be expensive, but a large magnetic promo for the car, count me in. Like the big...
Yeah,
I had a big Grapevine Ford magnet they once gave me years ago.
Yeah,
I used it for a day.
I appreciate Will's offer. I think we'll take it if it's, it's kind of an OBO thing. If somebody else... And we'll cover the wrap, right?
Alec says, greetings, Captain of the Juice Wallet. I have some cars that already turned some heads. I'd be very open to having a DumbZone wrap on it.
Well, that seems like a better offer.
While I'm here, I might as well mention that KT's voice is boring and puts me to sleep, and Jake pukes a lot.
Why did you have to read that?
I don't know.
It's in the email.
Yeah, but
Kempspin.com is flagged at my place of work for gambling. Do with that what you will.
No.
Well, since he's a guy that said he would wrap his car with our thing.
Oh, okay. You just get
I thought I should let him
to read what he doesn't like about
if he wants
our
to
friends?
bag on someone, yeah.
Oh, it's make fun of Blake and the way he parents is fine, but KT, oh God forbid we mock his voice.
I supported
You've never
you-
mocked anyone's voice on the show.
I don't do that. That's him. I don't.
Wait,
make fun.
what?
You're a make fun of his voice guy.
Okay,
I
but
would
everyone
never.
has made fun of his voice. I feel like we're just dragging people down now.
There you go, buddy. Give me some air bones.
Yeah.
Some people's voices are terrible.
Blake's a good dude. Blake knows what's up. And Drop Beth found something for us. We've been debating, did Jake ever say that he would rather have Dak Prescott over Lamar Jackson, two-time league MVP?
It's really not a debate.
And
You
Beth-
told me
Drop
I
Beth
said it, and I
found this.
immediately said I probably said that.
We have video, which also has audio. This is from Thursday. Were we in Cleveland on Thursday?
Yeah.
Well, what
Oh,
day?
no, this is
No.
from Friday, 9/6, in Cleveland.
Then
Okay. Yeah.
But he might suck.
And that's too bad.
You know who sucks?
Lamar.
We skated on that today. I mean, I won a bunch of money, but I looked it up this morning, and it was, not to do like hardcore sports talk at the end of the show, it was 1.5 average depth of target.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
1.5 yard?
Yeah, well, there's a ton of times where he runs backwards and then throws the ball behind the line of scrimmage, and it erases 8 to 10 yards every time he does it. I'm done with him, dude. I'm done.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Would you trade Dak for him today?
No.
Interesting. 2-time MVP.
Ask him on Monday.
That's a good point.
Who's the invisible man down there in the floor?
It would take a really long time for us to explain.
Okay. All right. I was so interested.
He doesn't want people to know who he is.
It didn't sound that crazy at the time, did it? Coming off the finishing second in MVP voting, best year of your career.
I never really endorsed it, but again, I didn't get into a big argument there.
Yeah, everybody kind of rolled with it, you know. I want to be...
But it was the end of the show.
Lamar Jackson now to who Jake thought I was, you know. We can all be better than people think we were.
And finally, Kemp spin.
I've got some anchored phrases real quick.
Oh.
Because it's not a closer. Austin Guttery says salient point.
What else is salient?
Right.
That's very true.
Mitchell writes in, hunkered in. This was during the snow days.
You hunkered
down.
Hunker down. All right.
I never hunkered in.
No, I've never heard that before.
Yeah, tell that guy he sucks.
Sorry, Mitchell. Stacy says amuck.
Yeah, I'm flying amok. No.
Only you run amok. You only run amok.
And you guys know how that's spelled?
Yes.
Only because I'm looking at it.
A-M-O-K, right?
A-M-O-K, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
yeah.
A-M-O-K.
Should have just waited. You guys would have said it.
And then Valiant.
Valiant effort.
I like Valiant.
Yeah.
Those are good. That's like the NPR portion of our show.
Yeah. No, I learned something.
Little linguistics.
And Garrett says, the other day in the group chat, DeMarco Murray was brought up.
Spray
tan.
Okay. Well, then I remembered his Kempspin vaguely, so I went to kempspin.com, and I clutched my pearls when it wasn't there. My question is, does Jake know DeMarco Murray's Kempspin?
The guy's name was Brennan Clay.
So what is it?
There was an OU football player. He was a couple years out. Like, I think he had played with DeMarco. And his girl, who was fitness Instagram lady, this is probably 10 years ago at least. She was cheating on her guy with DeMarco Murray, and he found out when she was getting a lot of sexy text messages from the contact that was just spray tan in her phone. But it was DeMarco Murray.
If your girl is banging DeMarco Murray, like, what are you going to do about it?
Nothing at that time, especially.
Yeah, what are you going to do about it?
And also, especially if, like, your bit is, hey, I was kind of a big time. I played football at OU, right? And
yeah.
It's like, oh, well, he was one of the greatest OU football players of all time. So you're kind of screwed there, bud. And, I feel like that guy tried to kind of get famous off that. I don't think it worked.
Yeah, I hope not. What an awful way to try to get
You might as well at least get famous off it.
Yeah, you try.
If you're going to have that happen.
It'd be hard to hook up with a girl and she was like, yeah, my ex was DeMarco Murray. I'd be like, well, this is not going to go great.
Yeah.
You know, what am I going to do?
All right, now time to evaluate Dan Zender. Was it better than the two openers?
Then you got the, is it in yet?
You cannot fumble in the divisional round.
That's how Blake
That's viewer mail. The ender wasn't better than the opener.
Backwards.
We did this in opposite.
Yeah,
I should have done that first.
Lamar Jackson dropping back, running backwards and throwing it 1.5 yards.
I like it.
Yeah.
Nice
This
time.
is all happening because after I went to his show, I'm like, you messed up the closer, isn't it? And then he's like, I'm going to get him back at some point. And here it is today. I never really expected it today.
Yeah. I ruffled Dan a little bit.
When I woke up.
Yeah.
You guys want a break?
Sure.
All right.
Let's do it.
So, it's time for a new vehicle. Sure, you can take a day of PTO and head over to a local dealership for a chat with Hank, or you can head on over to fairlease.org from the convenience of your home and start shopping for the vehicle that you want. Hank may be an old friend of a friend's son, but he's behind on his sales quota. and he'll do everything he can to get you to select a vehicle from his limited inventory. If you already know the vehicle that you're looking for, that's great. We'll structure an affordable lease plan for you. If not, tell us the most important features for your family. Technology, safety features, gas mileage. We'll give you unbiased information on the best leased vehicles in the market. We'll even coordinate test drives before you're ready to make your final decision. Did I mention a white glove experience? Once the deal is done, Fairlease will personally deliver your vehicle to you, conveniently at home, hassle-free, no cost to you. So it's up to you. Go to the dealership and buy it for 40 to 50% more, or reach out to us. We'll do all the work and get you the lowest haggle-free price you can get, stress-free. Experience the Fairlease difference today.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
What do you want to promote? Website?
Dumbzone.com, where you can find promo codes. Dumbzonemerch.com, where you can buy cool stuff. Check out Roundball Talk, which only airs on YouTube, not on any other television stations. I want to be very clear about that.
No puppet.
Like, are you bagging on Channel 27 today?
No.
What are we doing here?
I'm not. I'm just saying, Roundball Talk, find it on YouTube.
What am I not getting, though, the little between the lines? Are people saying it's on a TV station?
It is.
Yeah, so what do we have next? I thought I could...
Oh, I don't know.
The guy who, up until 6 days ago or 5 days ago, was
here.
the biggest Baker Mayfield...
2, 3, 4.
Thank you, Rob.
Oh, okay.
I guess we'll do this.
Basketball, give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it.
Hey.
Basketball, give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it.
Oh, you know what this clip makes me think of, though, is you know who's hosting this weekend? SNL? Chappelle.
Oh, love it. Love it.
How are they platforming him?
He's been canceled.
Now, whether or not he'll be funny as he complains and complains and complains about how he can't say this during a monologue on the most popular comedy show of the last 5 decades, we'll see. And then the week after that, it is Timothy Chalamet doing hosting and music. I got to tell you, like everyone else, I'm quite taken with this young man these days.
Yeah? Did you watch the movie?
I've not yet. I almost went to see it the other night and decided, you know what, I'd rather go to bed early. Wife and I had a night and was like, maybe not. But no, there's no way you know who Nardwuar is, do you? Nardwuar is a Canadian radio guy. He started out as a public radio DJ in Canada. I'm surprised Rob doesn't know Nardwuar. He has a very unique look. He wears a funny hat. He has a crazy, almost Blippy-like affect. And he's been like the biggest music interviewer in the world for the past 2 decades that a lot of people haven't heard of. And he'll dig stuff and find stuff from, like when he did Post Malone, for example, he knew about my buddy who was his like very first manager, like week 1 from Dallas Brick. Like he'll bring up like a bill from your second grade play you were in, or hey, who is such and such, and whoever it is, whether it's Post Malone or Timothy Chalamet, they're like, that's crazy. How'd you know that? And Timothy Chalamet was on there, and his interview with him was, I think I'm a fan. And, the guy's probably going to be in every movie for the next 30 years of my life, like George Clooney or Brad Pitt style.
Leo,
yeah. You might as well get used to it until he goes to a Diddy party. Inevitable.
I was working with a comic recently, and I think he had the best Diddy material that I heard in a long time.
Why don't we get him on?
I wish you would. I wish you would. His opener
Let
was
me tell you about other comedians
yeah,
that are funny.
his opener was like, I feel like you guys are being too hard on Diddy. Like, you know how hard it is to organize an orgy. It's like, I can't get 5 dudes to watch a basketball game together.
Yeah.
I thought that was
orgies.
Good.
That is an interesting thing about orgies is somebody's got to be like, I'm the guy who plans our like boys' vacations.
Yeah.
The fellas. And that is just herding cats, I tell you.
Yeah, it's got to be difficult.
Where do you go to sleep?
Yeah, do you?
Do you all sleep in the living room where you were?
Yeah.
Or do you all like?
Is there a clothes pile? Like what is?
Yeah, like kind of checking in your coat.
So the Mavs lost last night, which they've been doing a lot of lately. Times are bad. And I think I started to say this a couple weeks ago, and you guys stopped me. I'm going to watch the games. I'm going to have hope. But this season is just one of those that it just didn't go your way. You truly
you don't even think they're going to make the playoffs?
They will, but they're really screwed. And
won't they be the team no one wants to play?
Yeah,
Luka's back.
They can just get in.
Actually, it's great that Luka missed all those games.
Yep,
He's not so much wear.
Fresh.
Although I think he's missing too many games to even be considered for MVP. Is that correct?
That's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Way gone. But, there are years like this Cowboys year, right? They had a lot of injuries, but the team is definitely still to blame for how this went. The front office, the coaches, etc. With the Mavs, there's nothing to be mad about. Yeah, there's things you can bitch at Kid about, like thinking that Dinwiddie was prime LeBron James last night. Let's just ride that all the way. 38 minutes of ISO Dinwiddie. Could do without that. But they just got really unlucky this year, and it sucks because they had a championship team. Now, maybe if they win next year or in a couple years, you'll look back at it and say it was like, oh, it's part of the journey. But that usually doesn't happen. Usually you look back at it and you're like, man, that sucks. Because Kyrie's not getting any younger. Now, Derek Lively has a sprained ankle.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he was out too last night.
4 minutes into the game. Or was that was 2 games ago, right? Or no? Yeah, he got hurt in the second game against Denver. So, yeah, they're in a bad way. A really bad way. Couple things to report from the broadcast. I was not able to find the J.J. Barea aggressive, the Hall of Fame one.
Yeah. Sorry.
Because our Dropbox has issues, but he was on the broadcast the other night. It was weird. It was Skin, Barea, Harris, and Mark. But I just wanted you to know that word appeared in its root form again for Barea.
PJ over Christian Brown, rebounds his own miss, fakes a pass, then makes a pass, I think, and then a foul.
I still think that we need to do that more. PJ got to be in the block, got to be aggressive in the paint, and if we want to win tonight, he needs to be extra aggressive. And so I'll take that 2-point shot.
So, if we had the audio, it would be Barea said aggressiveness.
What opened up for you in the fourth quarter to allow the 15 points scored?
Well, great screens from Tyson and Haywood, and then I got shooters around, and I just stayed aggressive, and Coach K calling pick and rolls for me.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Sorry, I just found it on the fly.
Yeah. So what you can hear is he goes with an F sound.
Yeah.
Instead of the V. He did it there and he does it here.
And then a foul.
I still think that we need to do that more. PJ got to be in the block, got to be aggressive in the paint, and if we want to win tonight, he needs to be.
It's cleaner, but he does have a little bit of.
Do you feel like ESL?
Yeah.
Aggressive.
Yeah.
It's unfair.
It's like
I think
queso at Chili's. It's like he's doing his best. If we can hear it.
Aggressive.
I just stayed aggressive.
And I actually, by the way, I liked him. He's fun. It's almost like watching a game with a dude who doesn't know he's calling a game. Like last night, something happened. He's like, "Is that the rule? Did they change that rule?" And they're like, "Yes."
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
A couple years ago, he's like, "Oh." And then they're in the middle of the game the other night, and Devin Harris is like, "Yeah, the year I spent with him in Denver." Like 20 seconds of silence, and then Brady's like, "You played in Denver?" It's like, I don't remember that at all. He's like, "Yeah, we played against each other." But that's not the call that everybody's fired up about, because last night the Mavs got screwed. Now, they were down everybody. They were down Kyrie. They were down Luka. They were down Lively. They probably still should have beat a very bad Pelicans team. But they didn't. They lost the lead, and they were battling back in the final 30 seconds. They were down 3. Dinwiddie goes to the line, hit both. Now they're down 1, and they get a stop and a transition bucket from Spencer Dinwiddie that was clearly off the backboard before it was touched. It was an obvious goaltend. You can't review it. Even if you had a timeout.
You can't review anything that hasn't been called, right?
Correct.
So,
had they called it a goaltend
an egregious
stopped
foul,
the play,
you can't. Yeah.
But Followell lost his mind, and it was glorious.
Is there a possibility of a goaltend That's what the Mavericks want. 1.5 left in the game. Here's the shot by Dinwiddie. That's goaltending.
Goaltending all day.
That is goaltending.
All day. Penalty. Goaltending.
That hit the board
Goaltending.
first. Dallas doesn't have a timeout. You couldn't challenge a no call.
Right.
But I don't understand why they're not looking at it.
That's the problem.
Should be noted at this point, Kidd was going, I don't have a timeout to challenge.
Adamantly.
He didn't know. And I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
Producer,
no?
somebody. Yeah, because you're going to hear people talking in the background the whole rest of this clip. But they showed Kidd. He's got palms up going, I can't challenge it. No timeouts.
Dinwiddie adamantly.
No, not if they don't call it. They don't call it.
Well, Gediminas Petrinas, Rodney Mott, and Danielle Scott, they missed it.
There's your
They
government
absolutely
names.
Missed it.
That's what will be called.
Yes. They absolutely missed it.
When you talk.
Trail off.
Three-pointer is what Dallas needs. Both free throws made.
You got millions of dollars invested, you don't know.
Falls.
Now, what was that?
Whoa.
Yeah. Somebody was talking to the refs or yelling from their courtside seats like, there's millions
Who's
of
the new
dollars.
Cuban? Is that him?
Dumont?
Yeah, is there any chance?
Maybe.
We went from one
owner
yelling at the ref to another?
Is what Dallas needs. Both free throws made.
You got millions of dollars invested, you don't know.
All right.
Millions of dollars.
That's not Patrick Dumont.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah.
Maybe
Look, I'm trying.
Maybe the Patrice Dumont or something.
Falls into Marshall. Well, y'all missed that one.
Here he goes.
Game is over. 119-116. Pelicans win it.
He's just stewing.
22-19 the record.
That's not good, guys. It's not a good record. That was an easy call.
I know.
That was really an easy call. Boom. That's goaltending.
All right. Here come the refs walking by.
Y'all missed it. You missed the goaltend.
Come on. What is he doing?
Game is over.
Now he's going to go back on mic.
That's horrible.
So he's got the headset like kind of pulled up maybe a little bit. And then here comes Rodney DeBrujon or whoever's name he just yelled out.
Y'all missed it. You missed the goaltend.
Game is over.
That's interesting.
Mavericks lose their third straight. Pelicans with their 10th win.
All right, I mean, he signs off through gritted teeth. Like
I know obviously Coop is going to tweet about it.
Yeah.
But is he going to say anything to their face? I guess you got to give him credit for you're actually going to say something right literally to his face.
Bow up. Yeah.
I never would. That's where I'd call on my my wife. She's my Karen.
Yeah.
She
Go
will
out there and yell.
she will activate for me. If I have an issue with anybody, I kind of tell her and then I tell her, don't do anything about it. Like that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she's
You think I won't?
She's in that waiter's face.
He signs off like when I make my kid apologize to another one.
Mavs Center Court begins after a short break. Thanks for watching Mavs TV. Your home for Dallas Mavericks basketball.
He's just like, yeah. Mavs Post is next. Ah. He's been more fired up this year for sure. But I don't think I've ever heard him flat out. Hey.
Right.
Blew it.
Which is interesting because I do know. I don't know. I know how local broadcasters know that their main audience is the local fans.
Sure.
But above that, their real main audience is the guys running the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Cuban loves. He doesn't want any. He didn't want any mild criticism. I don't think.
No.
Like I believe, what's his name? Bob Ortegel got kind of run for actually saying, yeah, I don't think this and this is working. It's like, yeah, we don't need that on the broadcast. But I don't know how the new owners are.
Yeah, and
all
also
I know is that it wasn't him. The new owner didn't yell at the ref.
No, and
as we had thought.
Yeah, I don't know much about Dumont on that front, but Followell's kind of it's dyed in the wool, right? Like, so he's not going to change now.
Yeah,
he was Cuban's play-by-play guy for 20 years. Other than that, at least just the Thunder are on the schedule tomorrow night.
That'll be easy. Yeah, and none of their players are old enough to rest.
Yeah,
need maintenance.
That's a problem
correct?
too, man. I know it's Cleveland and I know it's Oklahoma City, but maybe it's just not until the playoffs. But this is insane. Like, I think I told you guys that I looked up the best combined 1-seed record ever. This is blowing it away.
Oh, okay.
Like, not even close.
So whenever the Bulls had the best record in the NBA, the Western Conference,
it was the Sonics, and it was very good. But this is killing.
And
that.
when Golden State was very good,
those are the top two. 2015,
Cleveland
16.
wasn't even the number 1 seed that year.
I can't remember. I have it somewhere. But yeah, I mean, dude,
Atlanta
quick math here. They're
Boston.
67-11 combined. That's insane. Like, they're both 6 games above the 2 seed. And they play in these little.
And you think that'd be a terrible finals?
I think it'd be super fun, but I think the league would be like, what?
Yeah, ratings-wise.
Yeah. So good times for the Mavs. The year that we will look back on, sadly.
Yeah, let's not end it just yet. Have a little hope. Hope is my strategy.
I feel bad. I don't watch a lot of basketball, but I do like whenever the wheels come off in sports and everything starts to look silly.
Yeah.
You know, whenever your team's getting blown out, you know, now they're just holding cattle on the sideline and dudes are painted orange and people are wearing silly hats and everybody's screaming at each other. It's just having the lights come on in the middle of sex when you didn't plan for it. You're like, whoa, we were all having fun. Now this feels a little weird.
What do you guys think the legalities is or are of us playing on our show the in-arena entertainment that runs on League Pass?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Because that's my new bid idea.
Yeah, let's do it.
I see all of them. Some of them I skip through, but like last night, it was either last night or 2 nights ago.
You're asking your legal experts. We're all like, yeah.
Go for it.
Thought maybe, somebody. But this is one I hadn't seen before. We had 2 kids, and, they were going to do, I think, like layup, free throw. Maybe it was just layups on both ends, except they were wearing NBA player gear. So, like, size 17 shoes and 3X shorts and shirts.
It's a little Ronald McDonald.
And they're just like falling down. It was a good bit.
I like it.
I want you guys to review these with me going forward. If only Blake could teach me how to get the video.
So we have a new bit.
Okay.
Which is Gummy Thoughts.
Oh, okay.
And it's brought to us by earlybirdcbd.com. Speaking of our website, you go to dumbzone.com, you can get that promo code page. That's kind of what you need for Early Bird right there. Earlybirdcbd.com, 20% off your order. And Early Bird CBD has THC in it.
It
so
does.
Like if
you're going to have to go,
get a drug
let's say
test,
hypothetically
Lawrence,
you need to keep your children.
Yeah.
And it's dependent not
don't do
for
Early
you.
Bird CBD.
I see those seltzers at the store, and I'm like, how are we allowed to do this? How did they get around this?
Don't ask.
Yeah,
you don't
you're
ask.
Right. You're right.
You don't ask.
All you do is
I'm
go
not
to
a narc.
earlybirdcbd.com.
You go to Early Bird CBD, use promo code DUMBZone.
Or specs.
So
this is specifically, Lawrence, about earlybirdcbd.com.
I'm sorry.
Kind of the sponsor of this thing. Or you can just go get your
don't go around the corner.
CBD anywhere else.
Yeah,
you
you
want.
probably grow it yourself.
Yeah. I mean, geez, man. I know this dude you can call.
Yeah.
He might get you a better deal.
So
I don't know that he's going to get you a better deal than 20% off.
It doesn't exist, especially like a Texas brand.
Yeah.
So I know I am not here to talk about a specific dream that I had. Okay. Because I think
now I'm gun shy. I almost want to go first.
Because you think yours might be bad?
No.
So
yeah,
are these
like
just-
he
are these
doesn't
just-
want me doing enders.
Are these just bits that you guys are like?
No,
just
this
funny
is just
ideas.
Just gummy thoughts. If you've had some gummy thoughts.
I've got a million of these
All
on
right.
my phone.
Well, then you're gonna.
That's why we saved it for today.
Yeah,
brought to you
we're letting you
again
be the
by
closer.
Early Bird CBD.
Okay. Oh God.
I'm not going to talk specifically about any dreams I've had. I don't think that's like a cool thing to do. It's just like your fantasy league and your vacation photos. No one cares. My gummy thought is, I don't think we make a big enough deal out of the fact we have dreams.
Just how wild it is?
Like the fact that, and I don't obviously like when I say
remember
dreams,
my
I mean
dreams.
never.
But this past weekend, I remembered one where you were, I swear to God, you are best friends with Micah Parsons.
Not really.
And
really not that far away.
All of my dreams always involve being late to work or not on time to sit. Like it's always stressful. And I had to drive Micah to get to you wherever you were.
Thank you.
And he was like busting my balls because I was getting it wrong. I was taking wrong turns and stuff. And like I was driving him to you. But I woke up.
And that's why we don't talk specifically about our individual dreams.
Because we're
just talking about the concept.
But
so my thing again,
I just thought you'd want to know that you are best friends with him, even in my dreams.
And you think about me, yes. Just the idea that whatever event or thing or
when I woke up, it's all sticky. Like,
yeah, we'll get to that. Or being that created us just made it where like, hey, you know how you need rest to stay alive, like biologically? Well, when you do that, the craziest shit you could ever imagine is going to be playing out in your head, and it's going to feel real. And sometimes you'll come.
Is there a
You'll
boy?
just
I'd
come
love to
occasionally. And it's like, what? How do we not wake up every day and all anybody is talking about is like, I don't know. I was just thinking about something when I was asleep, and I was afraid, and it seemed real. Then I came.
Is there a Black Mirror where it records your dreams?
Probably,
because that would be a great bit. You would definitely want to see the one where you came. And then your wife would be like, I want to see that. And you're like, no. You can't
unless
see
you watch it, and then your wife wants to see it, and she's like, why is Micah Parsons there? Why is he in this one?
Like it's his 17th sack of the season. He breaks the record.
Yeah. He's just doing the fist pump, and I don't know. It's just, it is a weird thing. And I know it's been studied, but to my knowledge, it's largely kind of just everyone's like, fuck, I don't know.
Right.
You're just going to fall asleep, and sometimes
cry about your mom.
And I think I started thinking about this because my daughter, like, Brooks is old enough to have dreams that he can tell you about, or like good or bad, right? Like he'll say, I had a nightmare. But the other day, Nora I sit her down, I go get her from bed, I carry her, I sit her down. First thing she says is, a giant squirrel tried to eat me last night. I'm like, that's terrifying. She's like, it was, yeah. I'm like, so you got to go to sleep. And if you just go to sleep occasionally, like you work in an office for a shark who sits at a desk, and we're all just like, yeah, it's normal. It's a funny one to me.
Have you ever heard of the Monty Hall problem?
No.
All right, I don't know how I came across this, but when I brought this up to my daughter, she's like, oh, yeah, I know that.
Of course.
You know, she's like 19 years old. And she's, she lives online. She was raised online.
Born in it.
The Monty Hall So Monty Hall was a game show host. Was it called Let's Make a Deal? Are you familiar?
Yeah, it was either Price is Right or
Okay, I think Let's Make a Deal. And so what this apparently they did this particular thing on the game show. There are 3 doors. Behind the 3 doors, behind 2 of the doors, there are goats. And behind one of the doors, it's a new car.
Okay.
So you pick one of the 3 doors. Okay? So if Lawrence is a door, Blake's a door, I'm a door. You pick one. Okay? You pick one door. Monty Hall then goes to the other 2. So right there, you have what? A 33% chance of being correct.
Yeah.
So now Monty goes to the 2 doors that you didn't pick. And he opens one, revealing the goat. Like he knows where the car is. So he opens one, revealing the goat, and then gives you a choice. Do you want to hold or do you want to pick the other door? What should you do? What is your thought? You can either keep the door you have, or you can go to the other door that Monty Hall didn't open.
I guess right away I'm struggling with this like LSAT. I'm trying to figure out what the logic behind this would be. I guess I would just keep the same one.
Okay. Well, it would be a 66% chance if you choose the other. You should always choose the other one.
Yeah,
because it's a 66% chance that will be the one.
Okay, that makes sense. Because if you had gotten it right first,
see, but
they're never going to pick.
It's a
that
counterintuitive
one first.
thing because you think, okay, now he took one door away. Now what is it? It's a 50-50 chance. So I could either stay or I could pick. It doesn't really matter. But if you do this 1,000 times, you will see it's a 66% chance. And the point of this exercise is to have as much information before making a decision that you can. Because now that he has eliminated one, you have more information. Like if you didn't have that information and you just had 2 doors, it would be a 50-50 chance. But you have the information that Monty Hall went up and picked one of those doors. Like he knew.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it's kind of like the sports analogy would be if, let's say the guy from the Christmas movie had won 9 consecutive MVPs and is up for another, then it's him versus someone else in MVP voting. But I didn't know that, and I didn't know stats or anything. And I would 50-50 chance I would take one of them. You would take the guy with the 9 MVPs, right? Like you know more information.
Okay.
So you know more information. But so by knowing more information, like it does make sense because when it started out as 3, now he has eliminated 1, and you know that he has eliminated a GOAT. And so it still remains 33% on each side.
I'm seeing so my one dumb guy contention with this, which it looks like at least some people on this Wikipedia page have pointed out, is
feels like an election.
You still have a 66% chance afterward with the one you just stuck with, don't you?
No, apparently you don't, because he went to 2 that you weren't sure about and did pull one out. Like apparently that's apparently you have to pick the other one. You have to always pick the other one.
You know what's interesting about this too is okay.
How many episodes of this were there?
Like a lot, I'm pretty sure.
The game show? Well, I don't know that they'd play this exact game. It's like Price is Right, where they'd play a ton of different games.
Oh, okay.
And so, Pachinko might not have been
on
on every episode of Price is Right.
Yeah.
This game wasn't on every episode. Yes, if it was on, if this was the only thing.
Yeah, I'd be like, people figured it out, right?
Yeah.
And eventually they were just like, we got to quit doing this show.
But somehow
it's very interesting.
This became a thing that it's called the Monty Hall problem. And I don't even know that I'm explaining it well.
It's not widely accepted, I'm seeing.
But, okay. That's like saying it's not like vaccines aren't widely accepted.
Okay, but you're saying that like this is a fact that it's 66%. Well,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not.
It is.
It's not.
Yes, if you went and did this without, like they have the generators that you could put it in and play it out and do it 100 times, you're going to see it's going to be well over 50%. And you think it's a 50-50 chance. It won't be.
They might fight, Lawrence.
Yeah, I would like to see it. Just
no one fights with Gummy talk. In the end, you just end up saying, whoa.
Whoa.
ChatGPT says it's real.
I just said it was real.
Yeah, well, I need to confirm it.
I just told you.
I use ChatGPT.
He just says it's not because I looked at a website that says it's not widely accepted. I've done my research. I'm not sure I should get this vaccine. That's you.
How are you equating this to vaccines?
Because you are just someone
I'm
who
not gonna lie, it's
flippantly,
the first thing I thought of.
You flippantly just said, I just did a quick search and I've now determined that what you've said,
No,
all
I'm
this
just-
research that's done is
I'm
wrong.
saying there's doubt. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying there is doubt behind it.
See, you can't fight these people, can you?
No, and I mean, honestly, I had a little bit of doubt till I hit ChatGPT, and now I'm like, Dan's right.
I asked ChatGPT the other day if I could beat a fox in a fist fight, and it said most likely.
Really?
Yeah.
What was
Foxes don't have fists.
Well, yeah, but like, could I take one out if I had to?
What was yours, Blake? That you could do a mountain lion?
Oh, not a mountain lion.
I don't remember.
Not a mountain lion. And I also asked ChatGPT, what is love? And I stared at that screen for a long time.
You could get
you
can get deep with it for sure.
Let's say there's 100 doors.
Okay, he's not.
There's a car behind one of them. Goats behind all the other ones. You pick one, right?
Yeah.
Monty Hall goes and shows you 98 other doors. Would you stick with your one or the one that Monty Hall didn't pick? Or do you think you have a 50-50 chance?
Oh, damn, he got you now. That's the way to explain it right there. He's right.
Okay, but isn't this like the gambler's fallacy or something? Like if it heads and tails is a 50-50 chance, you call heads the first time, you get it right. Your natural inclination is to go tails next time. But it's independent each single time.
Each time, it is a 50-50 chance.
Right.
You're not dealing with a 7-sided coin, or you're dealing with 100 separate doors. You have 100 things now. So if you have 100 doors, tell me, think about that. If he eliminates 98 of them and shows you the goats, and now you've got that one that he didn't, or yours, which one do you pick?
I don't think it matters. But I'm just
this is how I feel scrolling on Prize Picks every Sunday morning.
That's the explanation. Really,
shout out Hunter. Sorry.
That explanation is what got me to understand. Because now he has. It was 1 out of 100, but he has eliminated all those with it. The chances are 1 out of 100 that you had picked the right one. But he knew where all they were and then left you that one. I'm going to take that one every time. I'll bet you that's a 90-some% chance.
Okay.
Do you get that?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I did what I always do because I'm fair.
Gummy talk.
I love it. I Googled, Monty Hall problem disputed. This first article that comes up, blah, blah, blah. Here's a mathematician. He goes through like the assumptions you're making, but I thought you would enjoy his conclusion here. He says,
Schrodinger's cat of.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mean don't switch, of course, but, quote, don't necessarily switch isn't as catchy a title. Whether or not you should switch depends on what assumptions you make, and the standard ones made are not necessarily reasonable. To skip ahead. So if you ever find yourself in a game that looks like the Monty Hall problem, should you switch or not? Mathematics only helps if you know how to estimate the probabilities. That's much harder to do than simply making assumptions. My best advice is to look Monty in the eye and see if you can work out if he's trying to con you or not. Or maybe if he is genuinely trying to... Just look him in the eye?
Yeah, you can kind of get the feel
go
from
with
him
the
then.
gut? Is that like when we would do, scam and phishing training, and they'd be like, A, call IT. B, sign out of your emails. C, take a walk.
Right.
You're like, what is
Just
that?
take a walk,
This
see
all
how
just
you
felt
feel.
like staring at a Wendy's menu for too long. You
Yeah.
know, it's like you got to just pick one.
Commit.
Of them. Yeah, just pick one.
Do you consider that an ender, or do you want to give us
I
a
think
gummy?
he's got a...
I mean, I could read off my notes. As a comic, my notes app is extensive. I could just scroll like this forever.
Let me give you one gummy thought.
Yeah,
okay.
Please.
You say what? I'm in my HOA dad phase. There's a lot of these.
Yeah.
I thought of one. I think I'm in my let's establish the run phase. I think that's how I'd like it to be termed.
Okay.
Are you? Is this NFL related?
I just think it just fits. It fits for everything.
I don't remember what I was doing, but it hit me. It was like, damn, I am getting old.
I see.
I'm the
Okay.
neighborhood dad now. And then I was thinking, I sound like somebody that says we need to establish the run.
We are as
Flip
college
the field.
as college athletics sort all this stuff out.
Yeah.
We are a couple years away from Blake. Well, they're getting a free education. Jones becoming a thing.
I do like establish the run. As we get older, we all do become established the run. You know what I mean? You want me to read some random stuff off?
Do
my
whatever
notes
you
app?
want.
Okay. I wrote down dick guns. I realized I treat my dick like a gun. You know, I leave the house with it every day thinking, boy, I hope I get to use this.
It's...
And then every day I get home and think, nope, didn't need that at all. Would have had the exact same day without it.
Boy, kind of like the cop, right?
Yeah.
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 Doesn't really...
I'm trying to relate to
Yeah.
the gun owners as one who's not. You got to make some concessions in an argument. And sometimes I write down conversations I had. I have a part of that on my note app, and I was not. I'm very kind here. I was just in a bad mood the other night, and a dude after a show was talking to me, and he said, "I was on TV when I was 12," and I said, "Did you get molested?" And he said, "No." juggling. Why would you think? And I said, I don't know. In America, most kids end up on TV when they're young because they got molested. And he goes, I guess you're right, but no, I juggled. And then I said, well, lucky you. Maybe that one's dark. I got one more here.
Okay.
That I just went to. This is how bits get built. It's
sure.
It's a
I
rant.
respect it.
It's a rant at first, and then you whittle it down. Maybe Jake will relate to some of this. So like being a drug addict, if there was a police sketch, and when he's done, you're like, that's the guy that did it, and it's a drawing of you. Being a drug addict is a lot of work. I get offended when someone says I binged a show last weekend. It's like, did you lose your friends and family because you couldn't stop watching Game of Thrones?
Yeah, that is
You
I
didn't
don't like that
binge,
wording.
you were being lazy. I once did so many drugs in Dallas, I woke up in Seattle. That takes a lot of hustle. I said, it's like being a drug addict is waking up every morning, looking in the mirror and saying, I'm going to ruin your life, and looking back at the mirror and saying, I'm looking forward to it. Just living,
That one hits.
Just living every day of your life like a raccoon trapped in a dumpster behind Denny's, where some kids threw a firecracker in there while you were eating trash. It's like, yeah, you scared me a little, messed up my day, but I'll do it again tomorrow. There's some good stuff in here.
That's really dark. And the main thing, Lawrence, is that you can go to earlybirdcbd.com.
Yeah, that's where it all
use
is.
the promo code dumbzone and you'll get 20% off.
Do you guys want to?
Yeah, I can get some stuff at 7-Eleven too, though.
No.
How do you-
Yeah.
Actually,
right next to the buzz balls.
Yeah. Actually, no.
All right, let's do some news. And
here's Jake.
This is brought to us by Fairlease.
Fairlease.org.
Get them a quick hit.
I'm surprised, as deep as you were, like did you have to go to detox?
No, I woke up in Seattle in a place where I could no longer gain access to it, and then I found it there. And then I just
in
had
jail?
No, not in jail. No, I was just in Seattle, staying with Hunter, who I live with now. Shout out Hunter. He has you guys on his fridge.
Hell yeah.
Which is weird for me because I'll be coming home and I'll be drinking wine on the island, watching football, and I turn around to get another glass, and I've got to go through you guys first.
That's right.
To get my next glass of wine.
So how did you I don't know. I haven't heard of too many people who had it as rough as you did who just didn't do treatment at all.
I started working out.
But you weren't
therapy.
at physical risk of with withdrawals and stuff like that?
Oh, no, I had serious withdrawal. Like
you
I
just
was
dug it out?
Yeah, I just thugged it out.
That's
yeah. I just walked in. No, but it was, I think Seattle was good because I was
He's saying
able.
he's stronger than you.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Well, I tapered myself. It's not like I had to do. At least give me credit for that. I didn't do detox.
I was saying that he was saying that. I didn't.
No.
I think you're very. Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend the way I did it to anybody. I mean, there were some obvious side effects, but waking up in Seattle was great because I could walk down the street and buy a joint legally, and that helped.
Segue.
That helped the taper quite a bit, And then by the time I got back to Texas, I was just good. I didn't need it anymore.
And you never.
And then my son was born. My son was born, and that was like that kind of. That's kind of sliding in under the garage door.
Yeah, I think what he's saying is if you're a drug addict,
you should
have a child.
Kid.
Yeah,
have a
that
kid.
will help.
Have a kid, and if you're thinking about quitting doing drugs, you're almost there. Just keep going.
Just get that takeaway.
Keep going
from today. Boy, where do we want to start? Let's start with this one since we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and this does relate to the HAB and the AA. He was a Southwest pilot of a Chicago-bound flight. This was at Savannah Hilton Head International in Georgia. This is a 7 a.m. flight, 52-year-old dude, and the flight had to be delayed for nearly 4 hours as they replaced the pilot because he was hammered. Yeah.
So he was following Lawrence's advice.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Keep going, and now he's probably he's going to slim down.
Yeah, this is the greatest day of his life.
It could be.
Could be.
Because as I've told you guys, the place that I went in Southlake for when I just went to therapy there, and it was, addiction based. They had some sort of a working relationship, like a partnership with American Airlines. That's how frequent it was. I met 3 or 4 pilots over the couple years in and out of there.
What about
tons of flight attendants?
What about it makes it such a...
It's the travel. It's stressful, and it's like, hey, look, we're...
Free little bottles.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, we got 2 hours in this city, let's stop at a bar. Or we got a random overnight in Miami. You know about those like flop houses where you can rent rooms all over DFW.
I think about that a lot in Grapevine.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
In Grapevine.
I think I don't know why
together?
I guess that's what it is.
All the
just
sex
travel.
that's happening in those pilots
and you can kind of tell too when it's kind of like gaydar. I think I could tell usually which flight attendants partied, male, female, otherwise. And
they're getting older. You know what I mean? The last few flights I get on, I'm like, I got the real seniority stewardesses.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you on the cheap airlines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
there you
this
go.
is not. Every time I get on a flight recently, what I
Get
like
on
to
a chartered plane. They're hots.
Oh yeah.
Like the Stars flight.
Well, when you get on a Spirit flight and there's like 300 people, like I like to think about how like we don't give 9/11 like enough credit, like those guys. Like I just think if the four of us had to take over a plane, I'm like, how am we taking over? And you're gonna get in the cockpit,
yeah,
and you're gonna fly and nail it. I don't know.
Well, back then they were inviting you in.
They would invite you in,
basically.
It wasn't.
I might have mentioned
like the
this last time I was
door.
on
They
here.
would walk in and out of that thing during the flight.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was definitely different.
Yeah.
It was definitely way different. I mean, you could go just chill at the airport. I would do that in high school.
Wouldn't they hand like the first 50 flyers? They would hand you like a box cutter.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, like with a little logo on it. It was great.
Thank you for flying with Southwest.
I was always pissed because
Friendly
why would they
skies.
limit it to the first 50?
I know.
I
They
mean, I
have
bought the
more.
ticket. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, very, very common. And no, the flight attendants, because I would be like, it's whatever. I would have a drink on pretty much every flight I was on, at least one. And you'd order one, and the lady would see me looking at the menu, like kind of debating, do I want to have a second one? And she would just come drop two in front of me every time.
So that's always nice.
So you knew she likes to party.
Yeah, she would give me
She understands.
She'd give me the little tap on the
Like, I get
shoulder,
it.
like, "Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's sweet. So, anyways, pilot was drunk. Probably gonna lose your job over that one. Currently, just on administrative leave.
Which is that better or worse than yelling the C word at a lady at a Philadelphia Eagles game?
That's so much worse.
Okay, well, he got administrative leave.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, 'cause being vulgar but not physical at a sporting event with no relation to your job at all. I just don't think that's worth getting fired over. Now, I will tell you this.
I'm business in the front and C word in the back. And this is
Wait, someone at a sporting event was yelling profanity?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Pilots, I do know this. Very hard to fire. I learned that also from
union.
These people.
Really?
Yeah.
Strong union.
Yeah. Other airport news. This one local. Police arrested a man at Love Field over the weekend for a hit and run that happened a couple weeks ago in Cockrell Hill. He was out of town on business. 24-year-old guy. He was in, I think, Tennessee. Touchdown. You know how you and I would be like, it's a beating when you live in like Fort Worth. You got like a 45-minute drive after this long flight. Well, for this guy, he landed and they were like, you're going to jail.
Yeah, that's a long layover.
Wait, from the hit and run here?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, what a great – if you're going to do a hit and run, you should do it out of town.
No, it happened January 2nd, and he had actually –
So they had just followed him and figured it out while he's on the flight.
Yeah, well, and they'd been piecing it together for a couple weeks.
Like he wasn't leaving to flee, was he?
No.
Like thinking Nashville, they can't get me?
Then he probably wouldn't have been arrested coming back.
Oh, it was coming back?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was when he
may have
landed
said
in
it
Nashville.
wrong. No,
Sorry.
he was coming back from Nashville. The police had actually talked to him about it on the phone.
Oh, okay. So he
beforehand, and he said, like, hey.
He knew it's closing in on me.
He said, I thought I hit a pothole. You know how Cockrell Hill has bumpy roads. He admitted that he was taking medication
maybe fix
that
the
day.
roads around here.
Yeah. I've been thinking, that mayor, what's he up to?
Can I say, I miss the days when, like, getting on a plane meant you got away.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, if you could just make it to the airport and get on the plane. Like, I still don't understand how things work. Like, if I'm in Ohio and I get a ticket, if I get on the plane and I fly back to Texas, does that exist? Did that ever happen?
It's a
what
good
happens
question
to me?
Yeah.
Like, if I just never pay that.
Do you have a warrant? Like, let's say you have a warrant in Ohio, but you never go back
for like a speeding ticket. Are they gonna transport
Well, let's make it better. California, you get the infraction, and then you come to Texas. Would Texas support
Don't count.
this blue state, saying, and their charge like that. They're just trying to railroad me over there.
Yeah, lib justice system out to get me, right-leaning Republican Texan.
Right.
Like I'm in Vegas, I'm acting a little crazy, and I see a cop, and I'm like, you're only a cop here. You're not a cop where I live.
I don't know how that works. I don't really know how
I grew up thinking, I grew up watching a show called The Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
And if you got to the
Confederate
county
flags.
line, the cops would just kind of like peel off. Like, God damn.
Right?
I'm at the county line. Can't do anything.
Can't do anything about it.
But I'll still hear stuff like that in like police chases.
I was in a high-speed police chase once.
Let's go.
Yeah, I got away. You never get away. Oh God. So I was, I was like 23. I was about to move to Austin, and I'd been working at the same restaurant for like years, and they had a going away party for me. Long story short, I pull into an alley. I just needed to pee. I couldn't make it all the way to my house. So I'm in like a neighborhood in Plano, and I pull into this alley. I know this neighborhood really well. I pull in this alley to take a piss. I'm by myself. I'm wearing like a black button-up, tucked into khakis, and I'm taking a piss, and I jump back in my car. And at the time, I'd had two POMs, 2 possessions of marijuana in my life. So I thought in Texas, if you got a third drug arrest for the same thing, it's a felony. So all of a sudden, this Plano cop comes flying up behind me, and he makes me, he's talking to me, and I have like an eighth of weed right here. And he's got my driver's license, and he starts telling me, he's like, okay, well, I want you to get out of the car. He's like accusing me of stealing out of alleys. I'm like, who steals out of alleys by themselves?
A possum?
Yeah.
Like who's like, let's get a big score. I know where the alleys are.
I was just honest. I was like, I had to pee. I couldn't make it. I pulled over. So he's telling me to get out of the car. And I just did like some dumb math in my head. I thought like, well, I know if I get out and he's going to find this weed, that's a felony. If I just drive off far enough and throw the weed out of the car and then they arrest me, they rough me up.
Okay. Good plan.
Is that a felony? I don't know. I don't have Google back then. You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it would have helped you all that much if you'd have been like, hold on, officer.
Hold on, I need to
actually have a chat GPT component on my phone.
I didn't have that access. So what I did is I just peeled off. And I peel off out of the alley. I chunk the weed out of the car, and now I'm darting through alleys. I'm darting through, and I can hear all the squad cars.
And he's
going
got your
on.
license, right?
Well, yeah.
So, he knows who you are.
That's so they're chasing me for a while, but I guess the fact that they had my license,
They weren't trying too hard.
They weren't trying too hard. You don't forget that you did this, but 2 years go by. 2 years go by. I hear nothing. I hear nothing.
So they never showed up the next day?
No, went back.
They weren't waiting at your house?
Went back, got my weed.
Nice.
Yeah, they weren't waiting at my house. 2 years later, I got a letter in the mail saying, you've been indicted by a grand jury for evading arrest with a motorized vehicle.
Whoa.
Yeah, but it was
that
was a shitty letter.
That worries me.
Yeah, right? Right?
Do you feel you were profiled there? Were you racially profiled?
I don't – well, I mean, it's
Would
Plano.
they have pulled me over and said I was stealing from an alley?
I think if
I don't look like an alley stealer.
That's why I like being in Dallas. In Dallas, cops have things to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Plano, cops don't have a lot going on. Like, oh, is that somebody in an alley? We better investigate this.
Yeah. Not since the black tar.
But I got a lawyer.
It's a good first step.
Yeah.
Not going in solo.
At that time in my life, I sold drugs for a long time. So at that time in my life, I had enough money to get a good lawyer to fight this drug case for me. And he got it dropped down to a misdemeanor. I had to serve some time on probation. But turns out evading arrest is a felony. But they got it dropped to a misdemeanor. But if I would have got caught with that weed, that would have been a felony.
The math checks.
So in the end,
yeah,
I guess I won.
How much time have you actually been incarcerated, like days total?
As a young man, I got arrested a lot. I don't know off the top of my a lot.
Okay.
And I'm like 20 years out now. At being in any kind of trouble at all. But one time I just failed a piss test and they locked me up for 2 or 3 weeks in county for failing a piss test for weed.
Yeah.
In Collin County. Yeah. Which sucked. That was because as a Hispanic, they separate you whenever you get to jail by ethnicity a lot of times. So my bunkmate every night was like a different Latino person. And then they would just be gone the next day because they'd get deported or sent to wherever they would send them. And then one night I had this like massive like 6'2", DeMarco Murray, black dude, and he's sitting on the bottom bench, and I'm just reading To Kill a Mockingbird.
Performative.
And he kept like rocking back and forth on the bed every night, like making noises. And I thought, like, if this dude stands up and tries to kill me, like, I think he could do it for sure. And the next day he's gone, but his stuff's there. And eventually I asked a guard a couple days later, I was like, hey, what happened to the dude that was in my cell? Because he was acting real crazy. He's like, oh, yeah, no, that dude's literally insane. We took him to the psych ward. He's never coming back here. And I was like,
yeah,
good. I'm here for marijuana, for a gram of marijuana. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, there were a couple people in the Hab that they needed a different type of care.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
There's really no way to filter that out. So you'd be having this like conversation of, hey, here's the things that I think I could do better in life. And my life is pretty good, to be honest, relative to a lot of people that are there dealing with much more serious things. But you're working through this. You're like, here's a way I could cope better. And then some guy would stand up and just be like, I tried to light my ex-girlfriend on fire. And I'm like, yeah, I have a hard time relaxing.
Yeah, we got a lot of anxiety about situation. Like
sometimes I'm bummed out about this or that, and this guy's like, yeah, well, and he'd lift up his shirt and be like, my entire right side was, burned in an oil field fire because I was smoking meth and dropped my pipe or something. And he's like, I can't see. Just crazy.
But
crazy shit.
you say your life's good. You remember Hollywood Henderson?
Yeah.
As a young man, I had to go to an outpatient rehab, and I remember they made us watch this video, and he had this great line where he's talking about being like, I don't know, it was the playoffs or the Super Bowl, and he was so addicted to crack at the time that he was in a huddle. And like, when you get strung out on that stuff, as I've been, like, little things on the ground will look like drugs. And he was just talking about being in an NFL football game, and he looked down and he like tried to reach for a crack rock, and he's like, oh yeah, that's not there. All right, line up, next play. And he's having a great life.
Yeah, no, it's
He's
possible.
having a great life. You know what I mean?
You know the thing about him?
What?
He won the lottery.
Oh, really?
He won the lottery twice. He wins the lottery, and then, like 10 years later, he won the lottery again.
Kind of a reverse Nate Newton.
Yeah.
The luckiest guy in the world.
Yeah, and did crack and played in the Super Bowl. What a life.
Tough news for Dan, as singer-actor Jessica Simpson and her husband, former NFL player Eric Johnson, are calling it quits.
Oh, man.
Oh, man, really?
After 10 years.
I wonder if she needs to look in the mirror.
Right?
I know we can blame John Mayer and we could blame Tony Romo, and they're all a-holes to me. I read her book.
You read her book?
Oh, yeah.
What inspires you to read her book, Dan?
Someone told me that there was something that made Tony Romo look foolish in there, so I'm like, I'll read the whole thing.
Really?
Instead of like just the Tony Romo chapter.
When Tony Romo was in his prime and he was dating her. By the way, one time I got out of jail and Tony Romo threw 4 touchdowns on that day, and like that makes the house so much happier. Really.
Wait, would you have like sober living or something?
Do what?
Wait, what house?
No, my grandparents' house.
Okay.
Like I had just gotten arrested, they had to bail me out, and it was on a Thanksgiving, and then Tony Romo threw 4 or 5 touchdowns, and that really helped the vibe.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
But when he was dating her, like it's just like, dude, date a girl from Sonic.
I know. Yeah, come to Haltom City.
She wouldn't have made you go to Cabo.
Yeah.
But no, he used to play Madden all the time, and he'd play with himself. He'd be himself. And what else was the thing?
He would blast her music on his boat and sing.
Like Louisville and like,
yeah.
He's not a guy who reads the room a lot of times.
Kind of guy that would wear his own jersey.
Sure.
Hang out.
Sure.
Didn't allow her to do some scenes with other men or something.
Yeah, he didn't want her kissing.
Yeah.
Went full Andre Agassi.
Yeah.
This all sounds completely reasonable to me. This all sounds so reasonable.
To the neurotic recovering addict.
Yeah. But then I read the whole book, and
Normal
she
stuff.
had a little tough time. I mean, she had the tough time. The thing that all hot girls say, like,
Incel Dan.
My jugs were too big in school, and then I felt self-conscious about it, and then everybody just bought me stuff and were really nice to me all the time.
Then I dated the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, and it was stressful.
And then when I got my $1 million contract, they were telling me, even though I was really hot, I had to lose 5 pounds. And okay, sorry, the way they treat you, yeah.
Well, let's wrap up with another story of a woman that perhaps Dan can respect because she earned it. She earned it the hard way. Last month, it was Lily Phillips and her 101 men in 24 hours for her OnlyFans. Well, a woman that I have seen actually with that Lily Phillips lady, Her name is Bonnie Blue. And she also has an OnlyFans. I believe she's filmed, like I said, some scenes with Mrs. Phillips. And she posted over the last couple days on her Instagram and TikTok that she said, cute. I got to 1,057 in 12 hours.
Hold my beer.
Why not stop at the round number?
She said that there
Why
were
we
still
tossing
some guys
57
in the queue, as the Brits say, and she's like, I wanted them to get what they came for. 1,000 was the number she was going for.
Is everybody finishing?
No.
Let's break it down.
No.
So this article has it at
Just insert?
40 seconds per male, right?
Oh, wow.
And my thing is, here's where I'm confused. If all it takes is an in and out to count, it shouldn't even take that long.
Yeah.
Like that should take 7 seconds because she's definitely already ready to go.
Well, if I drove all the way over here, I got to get at least 40 seconds.
Well, that's the thing, is are they timing it at 40? Like the 40 is the average. But are some guys quicker or some – because her bit, and she's been doing this for a while, and it is a very good bit because it pisses people off. She does OnlyFans, right? It's not really like – that's the way now. You're not really getting a lot of new porn stars that are just doing it for the love of the game.
Like Pornhub or whatever?
Yeah. Which
people are just going right to OnlyFans.
Yes. Primarily, which is weird because OnlyFans is also not just all yourself. Like there's a lot of – it's a big company. It donates a lot of money to Israel too, by the way, folks. Just letting you know.
Good or bad? Who am I supposed to be happy with?
I simply mentioned that they are a
Am I
huge
funding
contributor.
terrorism with this?
They are a huge contributor to AIPAC, the pro-Israel lobby in the United States.
Oh, that's not
I'm
the
just pointing
oil
that
thing?
out. OPEC?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you knew OPEC.
I know a lot of stuff.
But with OnlyFans, you have to pay for it, right?
Yes, and this woman in particular averages 500,000 a month. No, wait, I think I have that wrong. 600. She makes 600,000 pounds a month, so about 500 grand, 600 grand a month from her subscribers. And what she does, and what she's done in the past, Dan, before we get to this most recent stunt, she'll go to like college campuses, in London, in Fiji, and in Australia, and she'll go when it's like freshman week or orientation week.
Such a good idea.
And she'll just...
I would have been in line.
She'll show up and she's like, I will
know?
have sex with every single person here that wants to if I can film it.
Absolutely.
And I've seen her do it. Like, not do it, but I've seen clips where she'll go up, she'll have some super shy, nerdy-looking 18-year-old, and she's like, come on. And she's hot, obviously.
Yeah.
And
you
then
watch these.
I haven't watched her watch it because I'm not going to pay for that, but I'm aware of who she is and what she's done. And it pisses people off. She's like, you're a predator. She's like, yeah, actually, they're adults, and they're allowed to do what they want. They're allowed to go fight in wars. So they can have a run at me if they want. She is completely shameless about it. She went to Cancun in March, spring break. She's just like, we'll go. Let's go.
Yeah.
If I can film it. Something called Schoolies, which is a week in Australia, and Freshers, which is a week in the UK, where she just shares her location online and goes for it.
I wonder if dudes are doing this too.
She doesn't have STDs. There's no.
Well, that's the thing is, I assume maybe we'll put this on the company card for research, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just see how it goes. My guess is that they're all connied up.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like a condom place needs to sponsor her if that's the case. They're like, hey, look, these work.
Yeah.
These definitely work.
Because I believe in the case of Lily Phillips, like not everyone did work.
Well, she had people get STD tests. I watched the documentary.
Yeah.
About
Oh,
Lily
the
Phillips.
documentary. I love the
It was a
loopholes.
documentary.
Yeah, I watched the documentary. Yeah.
101 minutes, 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had people get tested.
But then they ran out of. They needed more guys and just started saying, "Just show up."
Yeah, it was a big fail. But yeah, they had to wear the Connie for insertion, but not for when she was helping them out.
Okay.
Because remember, like she said, she couldn't. Her eyes hurt that day because of all the jizz in her eyes.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's a rough day at the office.
This woman looks fine afterward. Lily Phillips looked very
emotionally drained.
Not so good, folks.
Like
this lady came out
like a retired NFL player that can still walk good. Like, it just didn't really bother me at all. Yeah.
The other lady's like, I don't know where I've
Herschel
been.
Walker can barely.
But she seemed fine. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know
so you
what
think the first girl was kind of overplaying it, like you weren't that bad.
That or she wasn't a real ball knower.
Yeah.
Okay, she's attractive.
This chick knows what's up.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder what causes that.
Like
happen.
that urge?
Yeah. To become that.
I think it's a
money?
Yeah, marketing
Yeah,
employee.
what do you?
Yeah.
Sounds like you're judging her.
Yeah, well, there's a lot
no,
of
I'm not
greedy
judging.
people who wouldn't take 1,000 dicks in half a day.
Yeah.
There's something else going on underneath there where you're like, yeah,
There's a gateway somewhere.
Yeah. Probably a little sexual abuse.
Yeah. I mean, it'd take 1,000.
But how would it work with a dude,
She
right?
just likes Well, I'm saying a gay dude
What do you mean?
taking 1,000 dudes or 100 dudes.
Yeah, that feels like it'd be harder.
Right?
Again, things harder for men.
Yeah.
You know, women.
But I guess if your butt is already
Yeah.
out there, then you can just.
We can find out next Thursday.
But I heard some people saying like, oh, what if a man? Because she actually like brags about like, hey, I want to take guys' virginities. That's something I like. Like, what if a man did that? Like, well, then they would say the same thing, which is that this is weird.
Like, what's your body count is a big thing on the internet these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, the man on the street stuff.
Oh, like
So
how they
there's
found
debate.
Hawk Tua?
Yeah, so it's just a debate about what body counts are too high. I mean, it's a debate as old as time.
It's really easy. You get a
I think
young
Will Compton came up with this.
Jesus, I'm such a prude. I'm so.
You get a young couple on the street.
Yeah.
You ask him what's his body count. and
Basically
you
just
ask
try to
hers.
ruin their relationship.
Yeah, then when hers is triple the amount of his, he's like, what?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's easy.
I mean, I knew this when I was in college. Don't know. You don't want to know. You do not want to know.
I've never asked
Like
a
your
girl to
wife, if
tell
she's
me.
really good at whatever, you're like, you don't want to know how she figured that out.
Yeah, where'd you
That
learn
wasn't
that?
a first.
That's my
She's not
business.
just a natural.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
learned that. Some really scummy guy made her do that.
It doesn't have to be a
It
made
always
her
is.
do that.
It always is. She was reluctant, but then she did it, and then you're up. You should be upset to know she kind of likes it. Like she likes doing it to you. You're like, oh man, it must be just me. It's not.
It's all right, Dan. Settle down.
She's in there. I'm saying. And you don't want to think about it. You don't want to know. The more you know, it's the opposite of the Monty Hall thing. The more information you have, it's the worse.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you don't ask.
Statistically,
You don't ask. And then real quick here, I don't know how the Roast Twins are handling this. Do we need a report from them on TikTok? Because we're staring
Is
down
this
the
a fish?
barrel of
I
a
keep
Chinese
hearing
gun
this.
right now.
Is it really going to happen?
It would be January 19th, but the good news for those who would like to keep TikTok is while Trump was super against TikTok before and on board with banning it because of China and the national security and privacy issues, singing a different tune now. And he has put in I guess his team has put in a request with the Supreme Court of like, hey, don't let this happen on the 19th. We'll keep working it out.
Did Elon get to him?
So I don't think it was Elon per se in this case, although along with Elon and Zuck, the CEO of TikTok will be at the inauguration, seated with them. What appears to have changed is a couple things. One, TikTok worked super well for him this campaign.
Ah, well, he'll love that then.
Yeah.
So that's probably sticking around.
And he met with a Republican mega donor named Jeff. His name is YASS. So in my head, it's just Jeff. Yes. Yes. A Republican mega donor who owns a significant share of ByteDance, which owns TikTok. Mr. Trump has said they did not discuss the company. But, yeah, he's a guy who's funding all of the pro-TikTok efforts here. And I didn't know this. I watched a year-old 60 Minutes segment on TikTok and its issues this morning. So it's Chinese. It comes from China. But the Chinese product, the version of it they have there, for people 14 and under, they're only allowed 40 minutes a day. and it feeds them like educational videos, like science experiments you can do at home, museum tours, patriotism and national history. Like they ship them that, and they give us complete unfettered access to guy breaks dick doing dance challenge on milk crates. And we're like, fuck yeah.
See, this was my theory the other day about like they worry about North Korea building like nuclear material. And I said, like, we should just give them all of the things that they need to build nuclear material and be like, do it.
Yeah.
Put it together yourself and just see how that goes. I think they would take care of themselves. You know, that's what they did to us with TikTok. They're like, oh, you guys like this? Yeah, go ahead and see what you do with it.
That's not a bad idea. But yeah, they're kind of Trojan horsing us here a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, probably like the biggest shift in Chinese foreign policy was when they saw Chewbacca Mom. They're like, holy shit, they're watching this. Like really watching it. How do we feed them more of that?
I'm surprised I haven't opened for her yet.
Me too.
Chewbacca Mom.
I tried to book her one time.
Oh, really?
Right in the height of it, and was referred to her agent.
The original Haktua.
She's got to be gettable now. Maybe there's a bit here.
Like us booking washed up
Shovel Girl.
Yeah, you got Shovel Girl.
10 years after the fact.
Latarian. Who else? We were recently talking about somebody else we wanted to. Oh, the Baker Head Girl.
Yeah.
Like these are people that were tough to get at the time, but we could get now.
Lewinsky.
Well, I don't know if she'd be easy to get. I'd love to get her though. She's a hero.
And Chewbacca Mom is turning into a full-on Roseanne.
She started as
Joy. Yeah, that's true. Joy evangelist, author, speaker, podcaster.
Joy evangelist.
Once upon a time, Chewbacca Mom. There's your news.
The Dumb Zone News. Like and subscribe.
Our next segment will be brought to us by Frankel and Frankel.
Frankel and Frankel.
Personal injury attorneys.
Dart bus.
What was your thing before? Somebody was talking about calling a lawyer? Anyway, I can't remember what that was earlier in today's
I know
part.
that if I were going to call one,
yeah,
it would be someone with
It wouldn't be some guy at 7-Eleven that you met that Lawrence
No.
is getting pot from?
No. It would be the Frankels, personal injury attorneys. You call, you will get a partner. They're not just going to throw their Lawrence on the phone, some random they just grabbed through here.
No, some idiot.
214-817-3333. They have people who used to work for the insurance company, so they know all their dirty tricks, and they'll make sure that doesn't happen to you. Get what you deserve.
But remember, you can defend yourself in court.
You can, and that's
yes, it is legally an option. You know, you can defend yourself in court. It'd be a lot cheaper.
Yeah, but
the quality, though.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, insurance companies are a pain to deal with. Let the Frankels do it for you. Don't talk to anybody else. Talk to the Frankels.
A couple of viewer birthdays. Dear Fuhrer of the front butt. Tomorrow is my Devin Harris birthday. My leaders are Jake's bravery and Dan having his wife clip his toenails.
Wait,
what?
Did you tell us that?
Mm-hmm.
Was I here?
I don't know. My wife loves popping pimples and
that I get.
Cutting my toenails. I'll let them grow extra long for her.
Oh my god,
that's super gross.
I wonder what guy she got that from.
It's right. Seriously.
There was some dude who just had like the gnarliest back pimples ever that she was with for a few years, and she just loves it.
Right. She loves her old boyfriend had
putting
was
her
into
face
steroids.
right next to it, like
blast steroid pimples. More Danny, less KT, just the right amount of Ty Walker.
You don't have to read every negative KT comment today.
From Zach via Gmail.
What a jerk.
I'm just reading. KT loves it. And dear Captain Beef Curtains and his magic rod, please give a shout out to my brother-in-law, Day One DF Andy. Let's see. This is from the Chaz G that owns 0 local car dealerships. Unlike Chaz Gilmore, who owns many. All right.
The Dumb Zone presents Today.
We'll wrap things up here.
I love that graphic. Hyenas?
Why don't you have sex with it?
Can we fuck that graphic?
I'm not expecting you to marry it because you're already married, so that would be.
Yeah.
I know. You're in love
Hyenas,
with
Fort
your
Worth,
wife.
and Dallas.
Oh, me? Yeah. Tomorrow night, 2 shows in Dallas with Mike Stanley. I'll be your feature. And then 2 shows in Fort Worth Saturday.
What's feature mean?
I go in the middle. Go in the middle. It's a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes?
Yeah.
So you're not the
30 minutes.
spare up front?
No, not the spare up front. Slide me right in the middle.
But you're not that great.
Not that great. Not that great. And
Middle's
also,
probably the best place because if you kill and then the guy headlining, like, if you do a little better than him, you're like, oh, man, remember that guy in the middle?
yeah, no. It's
Of course, you don't get paid like the headliner.
That is very true as well. That is very true as well.
So you go to your mailbox looking for that, hey, that guy in the middle was good check, and you don't get one. Anyway, today is Thursday, January 16th. On this, you don't want to be in the middle in a human centipede.
No, I see it right there beside you. I've been often distracted by it as we've spoken.
By the
Buckypede?
Yeah, the Buckypede.
Some guy had that made for us by his wife, who is a surgeon.
Yeah.
Who
like
is
he's
it?
like she used surgical
So it's supposed to
thread
be
or
more
whatever.
accurate?
She did it like that's exactly how she would have done it had.
I still don't get. You probably came to a show where at the point where in my career I was saying, I was like, I've never seen an attractive person wear a Buc-ee's t-shirt.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't understand the fascination.
Craftsmanship
It is.
that she put into this.
I haven't been in a long time.
Look
and
how happy they look.
And while it's fantastic, I'll probably never go back.
Yeah.
It just
The
don't
Buc-ee's?
Yeah, they've crowded me out. I just don't have a desire.
I go there
for it.
just to shower. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't like using the toilet with 60 other people at the same time.
Well, we know your issues.
Yeah.
Dude, I was in a unisex bathroom the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yesterday.
Quite common now.
Yeah, but in Texas, I thought I could
It's up to the
have
business.
raped thousands of women when I was in there. Like, it was me and 2 ladies at the sink. It was My Lai Kitchen. Do you know what that is?
My Lai?
That place dope.
I
Yeah.
worked there for like if you work there, they let you try every dish. And I worked there for 2 weeks, and the food's phenomenal, but I quit.
Was it the whole bathroom thing that turned you off?
No, were you at the
unisex?
small one or the new one?
There's one in Southlake.
I was at the one in Southlake.
Oh,
I've been to
okay,
the one
okay.
in Dallas before.
I was at the one in Uptown for like 2 weeks. I worked
But
there.
I go to the bathroom and they have just the floor to ceiling door, and it said men. And then there was one next to it. It said women, and next to it said men and women, and then the sink at the end. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is interesting. Like, and I just thought, what's all the hubbub about? Why are we all upset about unisex bathroom or men using
Dude. Whatever.
like our dudes dressing as ladies just to get near ladies in the bathroom? I don't think that would be happening, but I don't know.
Also, our dudes.
I just bought a really extra big dress, so I'm gonna.
Our
see
dudes like, or our ladies, born ladies, taking testosterone and like wearing Vans and other stuff like
to
that.
go to the men's.
Yeah, like why? Yeah, I don't know. Seems weird.
The only time I've seen women in the men's bathroom is at a bar because the women's line is so long.
Yeah.
And the lady just can't wait.
Boy, I got
Thug it out.
I got
It's
reversed.
like the young Karens, your young Karens
Yeah.
in college.
Speaking of the Shane show, I got reversed ladied at that. You want to talk about the freest line the ladies have ever had to the bathroom?
At a Shane concert?
Yeah. While the dudes are. Ugh.
Does Shane not have a lot of lady,
I'm sure there's a lot of a lot of wives and girlfriends,
but just lady fans in general?
probably not. No, they're out there. They just also are small enough a number that they can use the bathroom quickly.
So today is Thursday, January 16th. On this day in 1865, Union General William T. Sherman decreed that 400,000 acres of land in the South will be divided into 40-acre lots and given to former slaves. And then, of course, later, President Johnson was like,
You guys were really in the heat of the moment there.
let's,
Kind of heat of the battle kind of thing.
Guys,
Yeah.
people say stuff.
that land is...
It's a
We're
pre-com
not
promise.
just giving it away. In fact, no. So that's where they started the 40 acres and a mule saying that never ended up happening.
Ah.
What a bad bit.
That reminded me. I bet on who's the Commanders? Oh, Jaden Daniels. He was over the points by like 0.5, and then he stepped back to take a knee.
No.
To kick a field goal, so I lost the bet. So that's what that reminds me of. You know, you can't give it to me then. Take
He was
it away.
just over his yardage that he needed for you to win.
And then he took a knee to get.
That's
in
what they call a
position for
bad
field goal.
beat.
Yeah, and that's what happened with the Sherman and the slaves.
That's
they caught a bad beat. All
Yeah.
time. Check them out on Scott Van Pelt.
On this day in 1920, Prohibition began.
No one's saying that.
What? In the 18th Amendment.
No one makes it sound like it's the next step for a promising college hibition player.
It's prohibition, yeah. There was just amateur hibition previous to this. On this day in 1980, Paul McCartney arrested in Tokyo and jailed for 10 days. They found marijuana in his suitcase at the Tokyo airport. They found a half pound.
A half pound?
That is a lot of
That is a
marijuana to
lot.
be flying around with.
Who is this, by the way?
Paul McCartney.
Damn. Yeah, but it was like total dirt. You know what I mean?
What, just terrible pot?
I imagine the jail cells in Japan are smaller than our jail cells, and I don't know why.
I think they're awesome, though. They're real clean.
Yeah, but I just imagine that they're smaller.
They send a lady in to kind of wash your feet.
Yeah.
You know how they execute people?
They take them to that forest and hang them.
No.
Suicide.
Oh, that's the
forest.
suicide forest.
Yeah.
No, so it's like haven't we talked about this before? It's they hang people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's they call it long drop hanging.
It's cleaner, it's quieter.
And what they do is
long drop?
So, okay, since 2009, district courts try capital cases using the lay judge system where 3 professional judges sit with 6 randomly chosen citizens. 5 votes of 9-member court include, I'm reading the wrong part, but that's how they vote. 3 judges and they get 6 other people, and that has to come with a majority. And what they do is they have like 6 people, or maybe it's 3. They all have a thing they can pull when it's execution time, but none of them know which is actually attached to the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they all think either...
It's like the firing squad. They don't all have real bullets.
Which
right?
is great because everybody gets to walk away going,
I'm a
I
fucking
killed that guy.
I'm a stone cold.
Or
Like, probably wasn't me.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be more
Now,
disappointed. They're like, it wasn't you. I'd be like,
Yeah. Now, if they let you pull, if one guy pulls and they show you and there's just it's just a goat hanging or something, then...
Yeah. I would pull
I
mine
couldn't
just
make
a
it
little
work.
bit later. Just pull it just a little bit later. Just
That's
to
not a
see-
bad idea.
Yeah. Or pull it first. They're like 1,
Goal!
2. You go on the 2.
This day in 1997 at the winter meetings in Arizona, the owners voted 26-2 to put the Devil Rays in the American League and the Diamondbacks in the National League. The Royals and the Rangers voted against it. Fearing realignment, neither team wanted to go to the West because of the time difference in starts for late games. And that proved to be not a worry for Kansas City. But you know what we didn't talk? We're going to
Bob
talk about it
Uecker?
tomorrow. No, not Bob
Oh.
Uecker. Who's a dead?
Skip Shoemake?
Shoemaker. Get to know your next Ranger manager.
Okay.
No, we didn't talk about the new Ranger TV package, but tomorrow
yeah.
Jared Sandler will be on with us to talk about that.
Now, he not a drug addict or alcoholic. We'll have to break the
Or a
streak.
functioning one.
True.
He's functioning very well. Birthdays today, former Stars captain Brendan Morrow, 46.
Good dude.
Mm-hmm.
Former Cowboy Doug Free, 41. This is a disputed birth date. Half the sites, like Wikipedia, will say today. ESPN says it's today. NFL or Pro Football Reference will say it is January 6th. So
I like that.
That for
do with
Doug
that what you
Free?
will. Yeah.
That's really weird. I thought you were on to the next birthday. Like, boy, man of mystery,
Yeah.
Doug Free.
Yeah, I like that.
Because
It's not
he's
like
the
he's a
guy
d-
that mowed his lawn, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's not like it's a Dominican shortstop.
Right.
Just a regular ass dude.
Jonathan Allen, 30.
What happened to him?
Redskins great. He's on the Redskins.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of Jonathan Taylor. Like, it seems like he fell off pretty quickly.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
Yeah.
Albert Pujols is 45. I never noticed it until I was watching a game with my daughter.
Steroids.
How's that possible?
And she said, yeah, and this is when he was with the Angels. So it's after his whole career, all that kind of stuff. She's like, his last name is Pujol. And then I had a little tear in my eye because my little daughter was all grown up.
Did you...
Like, this is perfect.
When you were out west
You're
Fort
recognizing...
Worth, no, you got to be proud of that.
Yeah.
When you were out west Worth way, did you point at the sign? You find anything funny about that when you were passing the Chisholm Trail?
Chisholm Trail?
Never occurred to me.
Yeah, I was just in, I don't know if I told you.
Chisholm Trail.
I was just with Carlos Mencia in this club in Arkansas, and it's in Northwest Arkansas. So there's signs that say NWA, and there's a white guy promoting as a lawyer. And I looked at the opener. I was like, hey, what does NWA mean to you? It's a younger kid, and he goes, Northwest Arkansas. And I was like, glad you went first.
Yeah.
Glad you went first.
Joe Flacco, 40.
Flacco.
Former Browns great.
Better than Lamar? Or no?
I'm enjoying all the news coming out now about Deshaun Watson. Now you know it's really done in Cleveland because all the leaks are coming out. Did you see that article?
No.
There's a big, long article. I guess my timeline is different. I get a lot of Browns news.
I was going to say.
So they're just going to, I told Hunter, they're just going to leave him in front of a fire station in Cleveland somewhere, just like a baby. Just get this out of here.
Well, he's already used to laying like a baby.
Yeah, that is true.
And, now there's just a big, long article about how he never would be able to learn the offense even, and they were begging the GM, you got to sign Flacco just to at least teach him the offense, because Flacco picked it up in 30 days, and this guy, he's been here 3 years, and he can't pick it up. And
just a lot of Blake putting gold bond on, laying down.
Yeah. Roy Jones Jr. is 56. Gribble once got an OJ liner, or tried to get an OJ liner at his fight.
Okay.
Didn't 50 Cent claim that he can't read?
Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, my bad.
Floyd Mayweather in one of the best back and forth online
squabbles.
Yeah, and it really got heavy when the Ice Bucket Challenge was going on. Have you seen that clip? That's the one that really, we can't play it, but 50's like, fuck this bucket of ice. He's like, I'll give $100,000 to your favorite charity. You can read a page at this Harry Potter book. Dumps the bucket of ice.
Good stuff. Great stuff.
You want to hear Gribble talking to OJ at the fight?
Please. Yeah, why not?
There's no way in hell I thought he'd do it. That was awesome. He's signing an autograph now.
That's me telling Gribble.
Just butt in there and go, hey, who do you got in the fight, man? All right. Hey, Juice, who do you want in the fight tonight?
I don't know. I like them both. Roy's a friend. Yeah. It's hard for me to think he can beat a heavyweight, but I'm hoping he can. Because Ruiz is a good man.
That's right, John.
I think it was in L.A., and we just saw OJ walking in the concourse. Like, Gribble, go up to OJ. And he did. And he didn't do anything. He didn't kill him or anything. No, he didn't.
No.
He was fine. Like, I think there's a lot of a lot
false
of misconceptions about OJ.
Number one day for Domino's pizza delivery.
That the OJ chase?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, number one what?
That was their busiest day in history.
That's a great fact.
Yeah.
Why they don't use that as a promotion?
That's like we've said we need more people suing us and get in the Washington Post. We got a lot of subscriptions and all that.
We're currently working on a couple of tax-related crimes, so let's see how that works out.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
And if we're not?
Then Dan Hurley, 53, UConn head coach.
He's crazy, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. And it was his wife that was turned into the female Russell Westbrook.
Oh, wow. What a moment.
Is she black?
No, not at all. But for some reason, they saw Dan Hurley's wife doing an interview and thought, she needs to be turned into Russell Westbrook.
Okay, I might have been ball-sacked on that one.
You might.
Yeah.
Because I told you guys, I've definitely seen a woman that looks just like Russell Westbrook. And I I feel like Rob is feverishly looking for that right now because we once had that picture. But I kind of stand by it. Tell us if you get that. We will go to Kate Moss's 51.
You could be my black Kate Moss tonight.
Model.
I don't really know what she does.
And Lin-Manuel Miranda, 45.
Ah, yeah. History rapper.
Yeah, not a fan personally. I know he wrote a bunch of Moana, but I don't know. He reminds me of like political science. You know what I mean? Just
What did he do that everyone loved? Hamilton?
Yeah. He's got a real Bill Nye the Science Guy vibe to him, though.
Then everyone thought he was great, and then now it's like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
It's the way it goes.
Moana was good. Is good.
And Dr. Laura Schlesinger.
Oh.
Is 78.
Of Bush.
Yes, she once had, at the height of her powers, which I think was probably the mid or late 90s, when she was a well-known advice talk show host.
I have my Take on the Day mug right here.
Oh, wait, there's the female Russell Westbrook.
Which is very clearly just Russell Westbrook's face imposed.
I feel like if you just took every WNBA player and put them together.
But Dan saw that and was like, this woman looks exactly like Russell Westbrook.
I mean, she does.
Yeah, on Monday, and you were like, what? I didn't see it. I'm like, oh, you got to search it, man. It's really...
Just so you guys know, if you just search Dr. Laura Schlesinger Bush, it's just a bunch of times she was talking about George W. Bush. It's not her pubes.
Yeah, search nude. Some naked photos came out. Like apparently,
Rob not as excited to search for those photos.
All right. Do you have those back there?
God, that was that looks just like Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's hard to get through life.
This is an insane Bush.
I was writing about that the other day. Just like being ugly is one of the worst disabilities in this country. Because you can't complain about it. It's embarrassing. You know, like that lady can't go home and be like, "How?"
That's not a real lady.
It's not a real lady.
Well, it's a real lady, but she looks nothing. It's AI.
Oh, it's AI.
That's a.
All right,
I didn't know
you got
that.
ball sacks right here.
Yeah, I was
like
living.
These guys are
This
making
is
fun of me,
insane.
saying it's not real. I'm still saying it's real.
Oh, okay.
So you and me say
took
it's
that.
real.
I took that as real.
I mean,
I felt bad for her. I felt an emotion.
So Blake, I just looked at the internet, and there's some debate.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like the Monty Hall problem with you.
Boy, he is so defensive that I just didn't buy into the Monty Hall problem right away.
You don't buy into mathematical facts.
I'm sorry, Lawrence.
What? Not
Go
within
ahead.
15 seconds of you explaining it to me. Give me a minute.
Yeah, I got real lost in the Monty Hall thing. You know, Russell Westbrook. I felt bad for that woman. I'm glad that's AI. Never got a free drink. Never got a free drink.
Somebody for everybody, though, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you have sex with the Russell Westbrook woman if she looked like Russell Westbrook? But it was the greatest love you could ever have.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Born in the Stay Now Dead, Frank Zamboni, who invented the modern ice resurfacer.
I was about to say. Okay.
But that sounded weird. Like, that didn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
Dead on this day, still dead.
I like how Lawrence was like, oh yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, I was like, Zamboni. Okay.
Yeah. No, he did not.
Got to wait for him to finish. That all made total sense.
He didn't invent Velcro.
No AI there. No AI there.
No, he had that film of Kennedy.
Yeah.
All right, died on this day, still dead. Pauline Phillips. She was a lady who is known as Dear Abby, the columnist.
Okay, and didn't like her daughter take over?
Yes, she now does Dear Abby, just her daughter.
God, how did you know that so fast?
I don't know. I think I read something about it once. About I don't know. In fact,
nepotism and
yeah, it's like coaching,
advice journalism. 2017 died on this day. Eugene Cernan, the last man to walk on the moon.
Terrible name.
No one knows who you are.
Yeah.
God, he doesn't even really look that stoked to be an astronaut in this photo either.
12 men. Of course, it's all men. Have walked on the moon.
Pretty good body count for the moon.
I'll take it.
12. All right.
How many can we name?
Oh,
Buzz.
Buzz. It's a gimme.
All right.
It's one of the first two.
Sirhan.
All right, now we're just playing. We're already playing?
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Michael
Rob's
Jackson.
got one.
Yeah.
The governor of...
oh, yeah. Mike Huckabee. Not Mike Huckabee.
the Virginia governor.
Yeah, Ralph Northam.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis.
John Glenn.
No.
John Glenn never walked on the moon.
Yeah, if we go all the Roughnecks, it's
I
Bruce
was over
and
at Buzz.
Ben Affleck. And
yeah, that's true. Tom Hanks almost made it.
All right, no one wants to play. Isn't it sad that we don't know? I bet like my mom would think it was sad. Like, oh, those are the American heroes.
There's more people that think the moon landing didn't happen than that can name all 12 off the top of their head.
That's 100% true.
I'm looking at one right here.
Yeah.
I bet Jake could name them all if they didn't hit a golf ball off the moon. If they would have just thrown a football up there or shot a basketball, maybe he'd be in.
Yeah.
Ooh, we should get Brandon Aubrey up there.
Kick a football into space?
Yeah,
It's a great idea. It's really...
I wonder if he'd do that.
You guys think this is like totally normal? We haven't been back in over 50 years. It's like
LeBron will be the first man back.
Oh my God!
It does seem weird. Doesn't it seem weird that Elon hasn't done it? Like, hey, I thought you're doing all this space stuff. Like you're saying, I'm going to go to Mars and like build a colony. Hey, first just touch down on the moon. Let's just see if we can do that.
Baby steps.
What are you saying though? Are you on the side maybe that it was fake? If we haven't been going back.
I'm just saying.
Interesting.
Seems like something if you figured out you could do, you'd be like, holy shit.
Let's go up there all the time.
Let's figure this out. Yeah. Like put some like something.
Like as soon as everybody was like, we think it's fake, you think America would be like, well, we'll show you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, let's just
you know what? Just pop up. Let's do one
put
next
a greenhouse up there. Let's just see. Can we grow some stuff?
Yeah.
I've been to like Mahia, and I don't really care about going back.
That's true.
Yeah,
I have
that's
been
a
to
good
some
point,
beautiful
I
places
guess.
that I'm kind of just over.
Maybe the moon sucks.
Yeah, the moon does kind of suck.
And I saved one for last.
It's like it's Branson. You're like, it had its day.
Yeah,
or it's not doing it anymore.
My parents
I'm predicting
loved it.
of all of us sitting here, one person will be very excited and say this is a hero for them. Died on this day in 2010. Glenn W. Bell, the founder of Taco Bell.
Wow. I didn't know that's what it was named after.
I know. Yeah, I never knew it was named after a dude.
White guy?
Glenn?
I mean, his name's Glenn, yeah.
All right. I'm still mad about the Chihuahua.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, you know.
What do you mean?
The Yo Quiero Taco Bell Chihuahua.
What are you mad about?
I don't know. I just feel like Mexicans never get our turn. We never get our turn to get mad. You know, when's the last time you saw a Mexican that was like, we got to stop doing this?
So you're mad at Taco Bell for using...
No, I'm mad that you guys weren't mad. You know, that's what happens to Mexicans.
Wait,
you know
what
I
are we mad about?
It was a little bit of an odd.
It was too racist?
It was a bit racist, and we were all like,
Yo quiero Taco Bell. Yo quiero Taco Bell. Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Nobody cared. I didn't care.
Dude, yeah. Dude, no doubt. My
But
dad.
you wanted the internet mob to get up and
Just to
arms.
see.
Just Latinos. We don't have like a spokesperson. We don't have, maybe it's a language barrier. But
That's
like,
what.
we don't have,
That's
like,
truly the story of Bassett getting fired. Is it's like, oh my God, they got one done. You know, but no.
Okay.
No, a guy we know, yeah, he tweeted about the Spurs. He's a big Mavs fan who worked. He was actually a former Major League pitcher, gave up Barry Bonds' record-breaking home run to him. But he was in his cups a little bit and tweeted like, oh, I hope all the dirty Mexicans in San Antonio enjoy this win.
Oh, well, see, that's once again not funny.
No, that's the problem with it. It wasn't.
Yeah,
really
yeah,
funny.
that's like you got to be a little bit funny.
But yeah,
you
know how I bet my dad, like in the '90s, completely separate from wanting Taco Bell or being at a Taco Bell. Like I bet you his buddies called him and he answered and was just like, "Yo quiero Taco Bell."
Yeah,
and they were like, "What's that?"
Like how many Mexicans does it take to cut down the basketball? Something, you know, but not that.
Well, you're only half Mexican, right?
Yeah, but I'm completely
You shouldn't
upset.
be that mad.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Dan.
And that was Today in History.
Or what was your thing? He was trying to put together the best white football team, and
oh yeah,
but it's like not.
It can't be whites versus everyone. It has to be black guys versus everyone. Like so again, like Islanders, they're playing team white, especially since they're all Mormon.
I was playing around about the metaphor the other day, and I haven't finished it yet, but just the idea. And so like every football game I watch, I keep looking for it. But how I think it's funny that like offensive lines tend to be white and defensive lines tend to be black. It's like we're going to protect
is that
this
so?
guy. I mean, I think statistically it's got to be close to true, right?
Your highest concentration of white players is going to be on the offensive line.
How's the black center doing?
No, I mean, again, to reference Compton's thing, he's like going through it. He's like tackle, guys, like center, all of them.
Yeah.
We'll just take all of them.
Are there black centers? Like in my head, I can't think of it.
We had Andre Girard for a while.
Was he mainly a center?
He was a guard who played some center in my head.
He played center. Pouncey in Pittsburgh.
There's not many.
Interesting. There's got to be some racism there.
Of course.
Like calling out the line, something, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe they're smart enough to not want another man jiggling their balls.
All right, we'll go see Lawrence tomorrow night or something.
And Saturday.
Right?
Yes, tomorrow and Saturday, Hyenas. And check out my special. It's on YouTube. Tell your friends.
It's very good.
Tell all your friends.
Adios, mofo.
We gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.
Michael Crabtree, Michael Crabtree, Michael Crabtree, Michael Crabtree. Oh, what a day! Oh, what a day! Oh, what a day! Oh, what a day! Oh, it's great! Oh, what a day! Michael Crabtree. I wanna know. Michael Crabtree. I wanna know. Michael Crabtree.